of the Miami Dolphins is a man who has eyed and been to the National Football League's pinnacle. At Dallas, Jimmy Johnson twice took the Cowboys to the Super Bowl.
Straight drop, throws it over the middle. Irvin at the 3, in for the touchdown, Cowboys.
At Dallas, he won 2 world titles with a core group of superstars leading the way. Now, with one notable exception, the Miami Dolphins are a team void of superstars, yet this season Johnson has them winning.
Marino looking, he throws. Touchdown, Miami!
Dan Marino is still the big gun, but other factors have contributed to Miami's success.
1, 2, 3, go!
I think a lot of people fail to realize that this is a team sport, and so there's a lot of different ways to get the job done. Right now, the strength of our football team is with our defense. But we've got to be more efficient offensively if we're going to really make a run at it.
Tonight, the AFC's Eastern Division leaders, the Miami Dolphins, take on the New England Patriots, one of the top rivalries in the NFL, on ABC's Monday Night Football. Some 30 miles south of downtown Boston. This is Foxborough, Massachusetts. Foxborough Stadium, home of the Patriots since 1971. The big question, though, how much longer? On their way to Hartford in 2001 or not? Well, we'll discuss that throughout the course of the game tonight. Al Michaels along with Dan Dierdorf and Boomer Esiason. Big game in the AFC East. The aura around the Miami Dolphins has changed. It used to be Marino and high scoring and very mediocre defense. But this season, a whole other story. Great defense, good running game, and when these two teams met on October 25th, the final score was Miami 12, New England 9 in overtime. 7 field goals, no touchdowns. If Miami wins tonight, they'll take a big step toward the division championship. For New England, a whole other story. A long, a very extensive injury list. Their team logo should be an ice pack. But if they win tonight, they're right back in the playoff hunt. If they lose tonight, their logo will go from an ice pack to the initials DOA. It's as simple as that. Big battle in the AFC East. Miami against New England from Foxborough coming up on Monday Night Football.
Back in Foxborough, I'm Leslie Visser, joined by Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy, your defense has given up the fewest points in the NFL, but your offense has only scored 1 touchdown against the Patriots in the last 3 games. You think you might need a little more?
Well, the last time we played the Patriots, we went into 4 quarters and an overtime, and neither team scored a touchdown. So obviously, we'd like to have a little bit more offense.
Well, we'll be looking for it. Thanks, Jimmy. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. For November 23rd, it's downright tropical. And commentary for tonight's game can also be heard in Spanish by pressing the SAP button on your remote. Temperature in the Boston area today got up near 60. Right now it's in the low 50s. Breeze basically right to left as you look at the screen. Back deep, John Avery and Brock Marion. There's the rookie Avery, their #1 draft choice out of Mississippi. He'll see a lot of action at running back tonight. And Adam Vinatieri's kick 2 yards into the end zone. Avery started to slip as he comes out past the 20, and the rookie brings it back out to the 28-yard line. And he's tackled there by Larry Wiggum, who went to the Pro Bowl last year as the AFC special teamer. Dan Marino came into the league in that great class of 1983. And assuming a different role now this year, handing the ball off more than ever. 11 TDs, 9 picks. Abdul-Jabbar, Pritchett are the running backs. McDuffie, Gadsden, the wideouts. Drayton, the tight end. Smith, Dixon, Ruddy, Donnelly, and Brown, the offensive line from the 27-yard line on first down. Marino to put it up. So immediately going to the air, but it is simply flat out dropped, and a flag is down. Aronde Gadsden dropped it on the near sideline.
You're going to have offensive pass interference here. Gadsden pushed off. And these are the types of things that the Miami receivers have been unable to do as the season has progressed, is get separation. One way to get it if you're Chris Carter or somebody is to push off, but you're not going to get
pass
the call.
Interference, offense number 86. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
If you're a young wide receiver.
Well, at least if you're going to go to the trouble to push off, catch the ball.
Right.
He got the double whammy.
he got a penalty, and then he also shook his confidence by not handling the ball.
You can see it's going to be a fight all night long with the receivers and cornerbacks from both sides of the field. And that time, Gadsden pushed off and didn't get away with it.
And right now, Jimmy Johnson is going, that's what I get for throwing the football.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
First and 20 from the 17-yard line now. And to the ground, Abdul-Jabbar picks up simply a yard, so it'll be second down and 19. Let's look at the New England defense, and they've really been hurt along the front line. It's Collins, Eaton, Henry Thomas, and Chris Sullivan starting there tonight. Slade comes back out with an ankle problem last week. Johnson has been great in the middle. Bruschi on the outside. Law, Israel, Malloy, and Clay in a very good secondary. The Pats haven't sent a guy to the Pro Bowl out of the secondary since Ray Claiborne in '86. This year you could see Law and Malloy both going. Certainly Law. Second and 19. Off the fake. It is dropped again, so 2 drops. O.J. McDuffie dropping this one. Third down and 19.
Maybe these guys don't like playing in the cold weather. It's not that cold down there on the field, but certainly Jimmy Johnson looked uncomfortable before the game. But they don't want to hear about it being cold and not making the catch. You got to make those catches.
Well, Jimmy Johnson has made it well known that all he wants to do is hammer the football away. Don't hurt yourself. From a field position standpoint, I have the #1 defense in football. I'll let them win the game for us. 2 drop passes getting this game underway have to infuriate Johnson.
Crowd really into it at the outset. Third down and 19. Out of the shotgun. Marino throws, and it's almost intercepted. Good coverage. Steve Israel broke it up, and there's a marker down.
This is going to be some sort of late hit or illegal hit with the helmet.
Well, they looked like they almost stepped on the Miami receiver when he was down on the ground.
It might be number 36, Lawyer Malloy, who hit Lamar Thomas.
Yeah, I don't know if that was what the call was.
Referee tonight in the white hat is Ed Hockley.
Well, we don't need any more of these things going on.
There was no pass interference on the play. Brings up 4th down.
It almost looked like he wanted to call the personal foul on Lawyer Malloy as he hits Lamar Thomas.
Correct. Right? There was no late hit on the play.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ed.
Down.
That was a good hit, but you could see from up here that it looked like he might have led with his head.
And then he got up and he stepped on him as well, stepped on his arm.
So it's 4th down and long, and Klaus Wilmsmeyer to do the punting. Chris Canty drops back deep.
And an excellent opening series for a very hurt and a very injury-laden Patriot defense.
Wilmsmeyer, a one-time 49er. Good kick, high and relatively deep, and fair caught by Canty at the 38-yard line. And that's where New England will take over. Drew Bledsoe, who guided his team to 4 wins in their first 5 games, scoring 21 or more points in each. And yet over the last 5 games, 21 or fewer points for this team. Edwards, the rookie, with Carter in the backfield. Jefferson and Simmons are the wideouts. Coach the tight end. Armstrong, Irwin, Woolabar, Rucci, and Lane up front. Now, Boomer talked about the importance of Terry Glenn, who's been out for a month with a hamstring pull. Not starting, but expected to see action. He'll be in and out of the game all night long, or at least Pete Carroll hopes he will. Simmons, the rookie, is in motion from the 38-yard line. And Bledsoe hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Tim Bowens hit him as he threw it, causing the errant pass. Second down and 10. Let's take a look now at the Miami defense up front. Kenny Mixon is a rookie. Bowens has been great. Gardner and Taylor on the outside. Rodgers, Thomas, and Robert Jones, the ex-Cowboy, really coming into his own. And there's the defensive line again with their secondary. Terrell Buckley heading that one up, with Madison at the corners. Jackson and Marion are the safeties, as Derek Cullors is stopped near the line of scrimmage for next to no gain, maybe a minimal yard. And there they are in the secondary with Buckley and Madison, the pressing corners, and Jackson and Marion at safety. Sam Madison doing a good job at his cornerback spot. We're also going to see a lot of Patrick Surtain, and we're going to see Terry Glenn in the game for the first time right here.
This is where the matchups are good right now for the New England Patriots to get Terry Glenn going one-on-one against Terrell Buckley.
Four-man rush on 3rd down and 10. Good protection, and then the underneath pass is caught by Ben Coates, but nowhere to go, and he's tackled at the 37-yard line. So the Pats took over after a Miami punt, but can't do a thing.
To tell you how bad things got up here in New England, you can see right here, this is the only NFL team that has not scored on any first possession in any game. And, you know, people look at things when you're losing, and you can see right there is one of the problems that they've had, and it's been bad pass protection, and they haven't been able to run the football.
In fact, only once on the first drive did they even get into a position to attempt a field goal. Tupa's punt, a liner caught at the 20-yard line by Terrell Buckley. And the one-time Florida State star runs out of bounds up at the 28. So each team 3 and out on its first possession. We've played 2 minutes 35 seconds in Foxborough, and there's no score. Fred Couples, Mark O'Meara, and Tom Lehman, the defending champion. There's one of your injured Patriots, William McGinnis, the outstanding defensive end, leading the team with 3.5 sacks.
He's got a chronic groin problem that just won't get better. It'll be interesting to see how much football Willie plays the rest of the year.
Pass with an 8-man front that time as Marino throws, and it's caught up at the 45 by Troy Drayton, the 6th-year tight end out of Penn State, and he takes the ball into New England territory for a first down.
And right now, Boomer, Kippy Brown, the offensive coordinator of the Dolphins, is I think unnerving the Patriots a little bit by going to the air so much. The Dolphins have been such a run-oriented team. I don't think the Patriots were expecting this at all.
No, I don't think so either. And one of the good things that you like to do is play action pass, and that's exactly how Drayton found himself open behind the secondary.
26-yard gain. The rookie John Avery now in the backfield, and they give the ball to Avery, who provides a change of pace with Abdul-Jabbar, and he takes it to the 43. Ted Johnson makes the tackle. Jimmy Johnson committed to the run. He's loved to run, whether it was college or pro or whatever. And now not only does he have a running game, but he has 2 guys who can carry the football.
And they both bring a different thing to the table, Al. Avery is the home run hitter. John's the quicker guy, the more slippery runner, the guy that if he gets it, he's more of a chance to take it all the way. Jabbar is old reliable in there time after time after time. Seldom fumbles, but a real grinder.
Speaking of slippery, this field appears to be slippery. A lot of slipping and sliding going on early. 2nd down and 7 from the 43-yard line. And the pass is caught here by Stanley Pritchett. The fullback comes out of the backfield and makes the catch, but just about at the line of scrimmage, covered by Law and Malloy.
One of the things you can do against Dan Marino is you can blitz him. He's not going to run out of the pocket. He's actually playing with what looks like a ski boot, I believe, on his right ankle because of his Achilles injury a number of years ago. And it was a ski boot with some spikes on the bottom of it. There it is. It's huge. I couldn't believe how big it was. He's not very mobile, but he will get the ball out of there. But if you can get back to him, you can hurry him in his decision making.
Don't forget the braces on both knees, too.
3rd down and 7 out of the shotgun. They blitz up the middle. That's picked up. The pass is caught by O.J. McDuffie. And on 3rd and 7, they get 10 and a first down at the 34-yard line. And a Patriot or a Dolphin hurt back at the 50. That's Brent Smith, who is taking the place of the injured Richmond Webb. Slow in getting back to the huddle.
Well, they can't afford to lose Smith. This is just his 3rd start in his NFL career, and already dangerously thin on the offensive line. And so far, it has been pretty much of an air show by Dan Marino here. And finally, his receivers are starting to hold on to the football.
Marino 3 of his first 5 for 34 yards. Here's a toss back to Avery, and Avery is stacked up behind the line of scrimmage.
You know, we go back. If you want to go after Dan Marino, you got to get there. You can't be stymied. You can't get picked up at the line of scrimmage. You know, he has obviously the years of experience, the 16 years of experience to sit in the pocket, and he will move a little bit to avoid a rush, and he's still very accurate with his passing. There's not much you can do to him that he hasn't already seen.
You know, you measure guys in this league by their time in the 40-yard dash. You think Dan could finish a 40-yard dash?
I don't think he can, but I'll tell you what, he can get back quickly. 7 yards backwards is a pretty quick way for him.
And 2nd and 10. Nimbleness in the pocket, and then it's thrown away with McDuffie blanketed by Ty Law. 3rd down and 10.
Boomer, that's just what you're talking about. You don't have to be straightaway speed quick to know your way around a pocket.
You just have to function in the pocket. You have to be able to manage the pocket. And, you know, guys who've been in this league a long time, John Elway, Dan Marino, Steve Young, I mean, these guys know how to function in the pocket. They don't move with a panic. They move with a sense of purpose, and they know exactly where their receivers are.
3rd and 10. Marino sets up in the gun again. No score with 9:11 left in the opening quarter in Foxborough. Only a 4-man rush. Marino hangs in there, but the only guy who's open is underneath. It's Bernie Parmalee, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Teddy Bruschi, number 54.
Interesting dilemma here now for the Miami Dolphins. They're probably a little bit too far for Olindo Mare because of his injured hip, and they're going into the wind, so they're probably going to take a chance and go for it here.
A pretty brisk wind at that. If you look at the flags on the top of the stadium, they are starched, going from right to left, right into the face of the Dolphins offensively.
4th and 10. What does this tell you about the Miami defense and the confidence that Jimmy Johnson has in it if his offense doesn't make it?
The other thing they could do is pooch punt, but instead they're going to line up to go for it at the 35-yard line. 4th and 10. And Marino guns it, and it's caught. Reaching out to make the catch and taking it into the end zone for the touchdown is Aronde Gadsden.
What a catch!
What confidence by Jimmy Johnson. I'm standing here thinking to myself, with that defense, I would punt the ball. With 4th and 10, I would have punted the ball. What a gamble by Johnson, and what a payoff.
What a catch by Aronde Gaston. He is covered. Woo! What a play by Aronde Gaston to get free of Ty Law and make a play. That's what you want.
Well, Gadsden is not a fast receiver. This is a guy that's in the 4.7 range by NFL standards. He's positively slow. And Ty Law gambles and makes a play on the football, and that gamble cost his team 7 points. But looking at with the #1 defense in the league, what a risky play by Miami, and boy, do they ring the bell.
The Boston actually is closer to the Rhode Island border than downtown Boston. A lot of the teams, when they come in to play the Patriots, stay in the Providence area. Very short kick fielded at the 21-yard line, and Chris Canty brings it back to the 32. So Bledsoe and the Pats offense come back out with Marino and the Dolphins up 7-0 early.
Well, you can see right here, Aronde Gaston getting away from Ty Law with a terrific catch and a beautiful throw by Dan Marino. These are the types of things you can see they're blitzing. They don't get there. Danny throws the ball exactly where he needs to throw it to get away from Ty Law. And Ty Law takes the gamble and doesn't make the play.
And already in this game, Dan Marino 5 of 8. Keep in mind, in their win last week against Carolina, he only attempted 8 passes the entire second half of the ball game.
That's just not right, Dan.
Out of the shotgun now. It's Drew Bledsoe throwing deep over the middle, and he links up with Sean Jefferson to the Miami 30-yard line. Brock Marion with a coverage. And so Sean Jefferson, one of the GOATs last week, when he dropped what would have been a chain-moving pass toward the end of the game against Buffalo, a game they lost by 3, with a reception here.
And this is a matchup you want. Actually, you have Sean Jefferson going down the middle against Zach Thomas. It was just a cover 2, and the middle of the field was wide open. That's where you want to throw the ball. Trying to get a middle linebacker covering a guy like that, that's the mismatch that the Patriots wanted and exploited.
38-yard gain on first down, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line now to the ground. And Robert Edwards, their #1 draft choice, the rookie out of Georgia, picks up 4. Edwards picked up in the draft after the Patriots elected not to re-sign Curtis Martin. Martin going to the Jets, and Edwards has done a fine job out of the backfield.
Well, this is no surprise. Drew Bledsoe going to the air, and he's got a nice touch down the middle of the field. That a perfect strike to Jefferson. And actually, I thought Zach did a pretty good job hanging with Jefferson. He was only a step or two off of him that far down the field.
2nd down and 6. They give it to Edwards again, and Edwards tackled at the 26-yard line. Short gain. Zach Thomas, the first guy to hit him.
And one of the interesting things about the Miami Dolphin defense is that they play with about 7 or 8 men around the line of scrimmage, but their linebackers are never on the line of scrimmage. They keep them off the line of scrimmage, and that enables them to use their speed. And the benefactor of this particular defense has been Robert Jones, a guy who was a middle linebacker for Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys, a middle linebacker that didn't pan out for the St. Louis Rams, and then last week had 2 sacks against the Carolina Panthers. So Robert Jones is fitting in nicely.
3rd down and 6. Nearly jumped. In fact, he did jump after some confusion in the secondary, and over the middle it's incomplete.
Man, if you're going to jump into the neutral zone, make an effort to get back. Now the Dolphins are hoping that somebody flinched for New England.
Shane Burton, number 75.
Offside.
So Burton coming over to the sideline after the penalty. Let's check in with Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Al, you were talking about the slippery conditions. In fact, the Dolphin players were complaining about it, and they have now started to change their cleats. They're going from a 1/2 inch up to 5/8. Al.
She should know that. She's wearing a Miami Dolphin scarf. What is that all about?
Leslie is always in vogue. You know that.
Oh, when she goes on the other side, is it going to be a different color scarf, Leslie?
Yes.
Well, everybody knows she went to Boston College, so she's just trying to show some sense of impartiality.
Oh, are you just, is it Doug Flutie this, Doug Flutie that? Are you kidding?
14 years ago today, my friends.
Oh, please, close her microphone.
Oh, all right.
Doug Flutie will be here next week as the Bills come into New England.
This crowd will be torn when he comes here. He's that popular.
3rd and 1 off the play fake. Bledsoe escaping and then throws, and it's complete to Big Ben Coates to the 7 for a 1st and goal. Zach Thomas dragged him down. Good nimble footwork in the pocket by Bledsoe.
Oh, you got to love these big quarterbacks moving around like this. Drew Bledsoe, after the hard play fake, was trying to hit Sean Jefferson down the right sideline in a corner pattern, and made a guy miss, and then found his second receiver. Again, good movement in the pocket, not panicking, and being able to make a play. And you could see we actually fooled out the cameraman, and there's Ben Coates just hanging in there, and Drew finding him.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line. It's Terry Glenn, 88, the man in motion.
Boy, they're offsides again.
And he gets wrapped up by Buckley at the 8-yard line.
The Dolphins were across the ball again. I'm sure they'll complain that they were drawn, but I believe Miami was offsides one more time. They're making it easy.
And Hockley so indicating it.
Offside. Defensive right tackle. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
You could see that Jimmy Johnson was complaining. It seemed to me as if Drew Bledsoe was bobbing his head or something, and you could see right here, watch Drew Bledsoe's head here.
Jimmy has run all the way down to the 7-yard line to plead his case.
Well, I didn't see a whole lot of movement out of Bledsoe there. I think it's the inflection of his voice that's doing it.
Jimmy just ran a 4.5 40.
Yeah, well, Jimmy showed a lot of movement, and something tells me there was a little inflection in his voice as well.
1st and goal from the 3.
Whistles all over.
Yep, no play.
This has got to be offensive movement here if they're going to stop the play before the snap of the ball.
It was 1st and goal from the 3. Now,
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense number 87. 5-yard penalty is still 1st down.
1st and goal from the 8. That's Ben Coates.
See, that's where right now Jimmy Johnson's saying it to himself. If I wouldn't have complained so much, they wouldn't have called that.
Miami this year in the red zone, very good offensively and also very good defensively. That's the opponent's touchdown percentage in the red zone. Only Green Bay has been better. That means, of course, that Miami gives up a touchdown only 40% of the time the opposition gets inside the 20.
That's why they've allowed the fewest points in the league.
Averaging 13 a game defensively. Bledsoe rolling, looking, and then throws incomplete. He tried to go to Tony Carter, the fullback.
Isn't that amazing how those two things go together, Dan?
Yes. They do seem to be joined at the hip, don't they?
Yes, they do. Well, they do a good job in defense, and really what it goes back to is that they stop the run first. And in this league, you hear it week in and week out, can we stop the run? And that's what Miami's defense has been able to do. You can see right here, you got Terrell Buckley trying to cover Carter, and that's a mismatch on the other way. Terrell Buckley should be able to stay with him wherever he wants to go. So I don't necessarily know about the dynamic of that play and the drawing up of that play.
Another slip, though. You saw Buckley almost pop his groin.
2nd and goal, and it's caught by Coates for the touchdown.
Oh, and right
Jackson
now,
fell down.
well, and he's saying he was knocked down by Ben Coates.
Now, as bad as the play was drawn up the play before with Buckley covering Carter, there's no way that Jackson can cover Ben Coates that close to the end zone with the big size advantage that Coates has. And you can see right here, he just goes up and turns around and bangs Jackson.
Well, Calvin Jackson, one of the smaller, strong safeties in football, at only 5'9", 195 pounds, and you're right. He is not going to win that battle bumping Ben Coates downfield.
Adam Vinatieri for the point after Bledsoe and Ben Coates combined for the 42nd time for a touchdown, extending their record most by any tandem in the history of the Patriots. So New England answers, and it's 7-7. The Miami defense going over things. Jackson right in the middle of the action there. Mike Westhoff, the special teams coach for the Miami Dolphins.
They really had their problems last week. Jimmy Johnson said they spent a lot of extra time this week working on special teams. 13 years Mike's been at the helm.
John Avery from the 3. Good Mississippi rookie. It's tackled by Vinatieri, who drags him down from behind, tripped him anyway at the 42-yard line.
That's Dante Scarnecchia, the Patriots special teams coach, and he ought to thank Adam. He just saved the touchdown.
And the last time these two teams played, Avery had a couple big returns, especially late in that game. And here you come, you're John Avery. You see the wedge right in front of you. They do a good job of creating a seam, and Vinatieri saves a touchdown by making a play most kickers do not want to have to make.
End up at free safety. Keep making tackles like that, Vinatieri.
At the 40-yard line with 4:16 left in the opening quarter. The game tied at 7. Marino throws, and that's caught by Troy Drayton. That's the tight end's 2nd catch. He's tackled by Willie Clay. That's a gain of 15 to the 45-yard line of New England. 1st down.
This is the new play in the league this year, where the quarterback fakes one way and rolls the other way, and most of the time the tight end keeps coming with him. But now quarterbacks are pulling up and throwing back, and I've seen this play time and again, week in and week out.
I can tell you this passing attack by Miami has got New England right now a little puzzled. They've been expecting the run to be hammered at them. This is taking them and catching them off guard.
Dan is 6 out of 9 for 84 yards. It's stopped in the backfield by Chris Sullivan is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. ABC. Maybe so.
That's exactly right. Cleveland.
Are you saying that you have a lot in common with him?
Well, we're both relatively handsome men with glasses.
Dan recognizes that Buckeye look, right?
They're shaped like a Buckeye. That's what we both have in common.
2nd down and 11, and Marino going deep, and it is incomplete, intended for Ihani Owezike. Juggled. He was inbounds, but he was juggling on his way across the chalk. Incomplete.
Now, one thing every quarterback wants to have when he gets into a game, he wants to get himself into a rhythm. And unfortunately, Dan Marino hasn't had the opportunity much of the time to get into that rhythm. But tonight we're seeing balls are delivered crisply. They're on the targets. They're accurate. And this is the type of thing that a quarterback like Dan Marino or Drew Bledsoe could be very dangerous as the game goes on.
That was a beautifully thrown ball, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Where only his guy had a shot at it.
Owezike, the former 49er, recently picked up by Miami. 3rd down and 11 now from the 46-yard line. Marino guns that, and it is intercepted at the 32 by Steve Israel. intended for Lamar Thomas. Israel got in front of him and picks off Marino.
Israel gets his first interception of the year, and he is finally working his way back in. He had knee surgery in the offseason. They expected him to be the starter on opening day, but he has been late to get back into the lineup. Finally, he starts to make a contribution.
For the Patriots, their 18th pick of the season. Game tied 7-7.
All right, after the last play, you can see right here, O.J. McDuffie and Chris Canty right here come in and have contact. Jimmy Johnson is complaining on the sideline to the wide receivers that should be pass interference. You see right there, Israel make a nice interception of a poorly thrown ball behind Oronde Gadsden.
Now from the 32, New England begins this drive, and swinging to the outside is Edwards. Nothing happening to the left, so he goes to the right, picks up a first down. Robert Edwards, their #1 pick out of Georgia. Just another great Bulldog running back. I mean, you go back to Garrison Hurst and a fellow by the name of Terrell Davis.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Some guy there named Herschel Walker, too, I seem to remember.
Yeah,
how about,
absolutely.
look at Drew Bledsoe here, hustle to try to get back into this play. Watch the right of your screen. There comes Bledsoe. He's going to end up getting into Zach Thomas right there. Now that is outstanding hustle by a quarterback. Close your eyes, Boomer. I don't want you to look at
hustle
that.
too if you're not careful.
Out of the gun on 1st and 10 after an 11-yard gain from the 43-yard line. Bledsoe fires, and it's caught in Miami territory by Sean Jefferson, a little shy of the first down.
To the New England Patriots. They realize at 5-5, if they go to 5-6, for all intents and purposes, this season is over for the New England Patriots. They have to win tonight's game.
If they go to 6-5, they're only a game out of first in the division, and right back in at least the wild card hunt as Edwards gets taken down on 2nd and 1. He loses one.
You know, you start looking at future schedules. The Miami Dolphins have one of the tougher schedules left, but with Buffalo winning yesterday, the New York Jets winning big down in Tennessee, you know, New England has to keep pace, and this is a desperate time up here for Pete Carroll and his team. And with the announced move of this team going on, much more imperative that they play well tonight and they win.
Miami, in fact, Boomer, has the toughest remaining schedule in the division and 2nd toughest in the league. On 3rd down and 3, as Bledsoe fires, and that's incomplete, and Lovett Purnell gets up and says, "Where's the flag?" and doesn't find one.
Zach Thomas, I think, is just going, that's just pretty nice coverage. What's everybody yelling about?
You can see how short Zach Thomas is compared to Drew Bledsoe, but he is one tough cookie inside. You know, he's only 5'11", 240 pounds, but he is the heart and soul of that defense.
Well, and I think he's showing that he does a lot more than just play the run. He's a lot more than just a run-stuffing middle linebacker that has to come out in passing situations. Zach covers a lot of field.
Tom Tupa to punt. O.J. McDuffie, who doesn't run back a lot of punts, he's only returned 2 this year. Fair catches it at the 7-yard line, which is something you normally don't do, and probably one of the reasons he's only returned 2 this season. Miami, as we mentioned, the toughest remaining schedule in their division and 2nd in the league. Only New Orleans has a tougher remaining schedule. And there it is, the Dolphins facing New Orleans, and then at Oakland, the Jets, and a huge one at Miami, and Denver in a well, we don't even want to think about what that could be on December. Well, we do want to think about it.
You know, when you look
on
at
December 20th, Denver, Miami, Elway, and Marino haven't faced each other since '85, and the question that night will be, will Denver be 14-0?
And we all remember that it was Miami that derailed the '85 Bears in their run to perfection, their only loss of the year. Right. Ooh, it's too exciting to even think about.
1st and 10 from the 7 in the waning moments of the opening quarter. This is Avery to the outside, and he picks up a yard, maybe 2 up to the 9, and what should be the final play of the opening period.
You know, when you look at their final schedule, guys, the thing is that all those teams on there have good defenses. You know, and they have to go to Atlanta the last week of the season. That could be almost an impossible game for them to win, especially if Atlanta's fighting for home field advantage in the playoffs.
End of the first quarter, Miami 7, New England 7, and Monday Night Football resumes after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Foxborough Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Al Michaels with Dan Deerdorf, Boomer Esiason, and Leslie Visser. As we start the second quarter, good opening period. 7-7 is the score. And the Dolphins have the ball at their own 8-yard line. It is second down and 9. Second quarter begins with Marino throwing, but it is dropped good. Tight coverage. McDuffie covered by Ty Law.
Well, I'll tell you what, that time Ty Law had a chance to make an interception for a touchdown. Dan threw the ball a little bit behind McDuffie. I think he caught a break there. Those are the type when you throw, your heart misses the beat as a quarterback, and you can see right here Ty Law has a chance.
I know Dan has a lot of confidence when he throws the football, but Ty Law already 7 interceptions on the year. One of them he's returned for a touchdown. Anything in his territory, you run the risk of having a big play go against you.
You have to have a short memory. You remember earlier on in the game, he went for a pick and it turned into a Miami touchdown.
Third down and 9. Marino standing on the goal line, throws, and that's incomplete. Ty Law again covering on the play, this time Gadsden, the intended receiver.
Does Miami save their passing game for Monday night or what, guys?
Well, this is something that Miami hasn't shown all season.
Well, they showed it against Jacksonville.
Well, only out of necessity, and Jimmy said, look what happened to us, we lost.
And there's an illegal procedure call here against the Dolphins.
Ooh, that's a lot of contact downfield by Ty Law.
Well, when you're having a great year, you can get away with things, and certainly Ty Law, as each game has gone on, he's gotten more confident about his abilities, but also to get away with things, I'm sure.
Well, part of the problem was there, I think, that Gadsden didn't really look like he was running a legitimate pattern. He didn't seem to have a plan.
That's not good when you don't have a plan and you're a wide receiver.
That was illegal procedure as it turned out, and no play. The penalty takes it back to the 4-yard line. Third down and 13. Marino throws. It is caught up at the 9 by O.J. McDuffie. Tackled at the 13, well shy of the first down, and the punting group comes in. You know, so far, guys, if you just walked into this stadium, you'd have no sense of what had taken place last week in terms of the team having announced that it would be moving to Hartford. Nobody really knew what to expect here tonight, but to this point, at least as far as we can feel, it's like every other football game we've ever seen here.
We were apprehensive. Well, we were looking for banners and maybe there'd be some negative sign. In reality, you're right, Al. This is just like any other game.
Wilmsmeyer sends it down to the 50-yard line where Chris Canty takes it, and Canty brings it back to the 33, and you saw the flag coming into the picture.
Bring it back.
Ed Hockley is the busy referee.
I just think it goes back to the fact that I think a lot of the fans recognize that Bob Kraft has tried to keep the team here and has tried to put the team in Boston to no avail, really.
And also, it's a regional move. Even we're not going to tell you that it's, you know, it's only less than 100 miles from downtown Boston to Hartford. That's what it is. But the team name remains the same, and Kraft was telling us yesterday, as you look at the holding call coming up here on New England and their face mask offsetting against Miami, that he fully expects at least 40% of the current season ticket holders here to renew in Hartford.
There were fouls by both teams during the return. Holding by the receiving team, number 34. There was also a personal foul, face mask, by the kicking team, number 19. By rule, the penalty's offset at the spot of the receiving team's foul. They keep the ball, first down.
Nate Jaquette, number 19, to Bucky Jones, number 34. With the binoculars is Robert Kraft, the owner of the team, and his son Jonathan is the vice president. Right of your screen right there, we talked about Bob Kraft, who's owned this team for the last several years, helped guide them toward a Super Bowl appearance 2 years ago, and announcing the move the other day as his team takes over at the 44-yard line, and Bledsoe throws it, and it's incomplete through the hands of Robert Edwards, and we have another flag coming in.
I think you're going to have a legal man downfield possibly here on the New England Patriots. They're trying to run a screen, and maybe those linemen got downfield a little bit too quickly.
We have seen a plethora of flags so far in this game. We're barely into the second quarter. More than our fair share, I think.
This is a maxi plethora.
Offensive interference, huh?
Pete Carroll, second year as the patch coach, took over
Offensive
for Bill
pass
Parcells.
interference. Offense number 71 was downfield blocking before the pass was thrown. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Todd Rucci.
Now,
well, how do you not then have an illegal man downfield?
It has to be a legal man downfield, not a pass interference. Is that right? Or
well, he'd have to be illegally downfield before the interference, wouldn't it? Because
That's
it wouldn't
exactly
be an
right.
interference until the ball's thrown.
Right. So,
although we're splitting microbes there.
well, we're going to have to check that one out. I don't know about that one.
Well, Boomer, why don't you go check it out?
I'll be back in a minute.
We'll keep your headset warm.
Boomer, go down and get us a variety of food stuff. See now, check it out.
You're
come
starting
back up.
with me again.
No.
Okay. This rookie stuff. When does it stop?
We want ketchup.
Next year when you're a sophomore.
No, 6 games. This should be enough.
First and 20 from the 46-yard line as Bledsoe throws, and it is caught by Glenn. No, hit the ground, according to the official.
How's that coverage by Derek Rogers, huh? That's pretty tight coverage by a linebacker.
Well, and they're playing zone, Dan, underneath, and these guys come into their zones. You know, they're going to try to lock up on them as quickly as they possibly can. And when a linebacker sees a little guy like Terry Glenn coming through the middle, you don't think that they want to lay a hit on them. Oh man, their eyes light up and they get all excited. And you could see Rogers right there staying with Terry Glenn.
That's just good timing by Derek Rogers.
And it looked like a catch to me. That looked like a pretty good catch by Terry Glenn.
They waved it off at 2nd and 20 at the 46. Game time early in the second quarter. Bledsoe with a ton of time, finds the open man. This is Tony Simmons, the rookie, spun out at the 37 by Terrell Buckley, second-round pick out of Wisconsin, a track star, sprinter, and Pete Carroll thinks he's got a great future.
And add one more thing to that, Al, a really strong guy. And this is a guy that when he gets loose in the open fields, breaks tackles. Broke a couple in their game last week against Buffalo, and this is a guy that when he gets the ball in the open field as a defender, you have got to wrap him up. Even right there, you notice he doesn't go down. He gets spun out of bounds, but he does not go down easily.
3rd and 3. It had been 2nd and 20, so a 17-yard gain, and that is incomplete, intended for Ben Coates over the middle. He's covered by Brock Marion.
Now this is the part of the field that the Miami Dolphins had 4th down and 10 and went for it because they're going into a win. There's no way that Vinatieri can reach for a field goal. And if you kick a punt here and it goes into the end zone, you only gain about 16 yards.
Drew ended up throwing the ball behind Ben Coates because Jerry Wilson came on the corner blitz. He's unaccounted for, and Drew Bledsoe had to get rid of the football way early.
4th and 3. If you try a field goal and you miss it here, then Miami gets the ball at its own 45. So they line up to go for it. 4th down and 3 from the 37-yard line.
And here comes the blitz. You got to get rid of it.
And he gets rid of it, and it is incomplete. Sean Jefferson looks around for a flag. The coverage by the rookie from Southern Mississippi, Patrick Surtain. And the blitz put on that time by Wilson again.
And when you have plays like this, these are the plays that you have to hit and you have to make. And you can see Patrick Surtain makes the play and Sean Jefferson doesn't.
Win last night against New Orleans, taking on the New York Giants. The Giants and the 49ers next Monday night. After the 4th down miss, it's 1st down for Miami at their own 38-yard line. And the ball is given to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who gets taken down after a minimal gain. You know, we can talk about so many aspects of this impending move, but 10 years ago, somebody said the National Football League would have teams in Jacksonville, Charlotte, Nashville, Hartford, and not in Los Angeles, and not in Cleveland, at least for now, and not in Houston. You'd have thought they were nuts.
No, we've seen an unprecedented amount of movement, and you know, Boomer started to talk about this, but Bob Kraft invested 4 years in trying to work something out where the team would stay in Massachusetts. The last thing in the world he wanted to do was go to Connecticut.
2nd and 9, and Abdul-Jabbar to the 43. He's a native Bostonian. He loves this area. He did it with mixed emotions. I mean, we're not going to say that it's not one of the great deals in the history of sports, what's going on in Connecticut.
It's a great deal.
There's no question. But if Bob had his wish list, granted, #1 would be a stadium in South Boston.
Absolutely, and you could tell that when they announced it, it seemed like he was happy, but he really wasn't, that there was something missing there. It was a deal that it was too good to turn down, but he had to leave his native Boston, and I know that had to hurt.
And when you talk to people here locally, guys, it ended up being a personality clash between Bob and the Speaker of the House here, this Tom Finneran. And these two guys, don't invite them to the same Christmas party.
To Bucky Jones with the coverage there on Ihani Buwezike.
You know, it goes back to it, you know, should a stadium be publicly funded? Shouldn't it be? You know, fans and people and politicians look at player salaries. They take all of that stuff into account, and it's not an easy thing to sell if you are a politician too. So there are two sides to the story. And, you know, right now Bob Kraft basically accepted the best deal, and it was a great deal.
Oh, some deal it was too.
No question. Klaus Wilmsmeyer to punt. Fair catch is called for, but the ball bounces at the 25 and rolls out at the 29-yard line with 11:37 to go in the opening half in Foxborough. Miami and New England knotted at 7. $11:37 left in the opening half at New England in a very key battle in the AFC East. The Dolphins coming in 7-3 and on top, half a game in front of the Jets. New England losers of 4 of their last 5 at 5-5, trying to get back into the race. 7-7 is the score as New England begins this drive at its own 28-yard line, 1st and 10. And it's Robert Edwards behind Tony Carter, and he gets bunched up at the line of scrimmage. Let's go to Leslie Visser.
Al, I am with Bob Kraft. He's on the phone right now, so perhaps I'll find out who the phone call's from.
It's probably from the governor of Connecticut. How you doing, Bob? What's going on? A little dinner tomorrow night?
Right?
How's everything?
A party line. All right, Les.
Is this all right now? Bob, I think it's too late for rather now.
It's 2nd down and 10 at the 28-yard line. Back up in a moment, quarterback draw. It is Bledsoe on a keeper out to the 38-yard line. A stunning turn of events. Back to Leslie.
Bob, as you know, pending approval by the legislature in Connecticut, your intent is to move, but you grew up here. You were a longtime Patriot fan. What do you say to your season ticket holders, most of whom come from this area?
Well, I'm very sorry to them for the inconvenience of the travel time, but we tried to build 4 privately financed stadiums in the last 5 years, and the government system here through the State House of Representatives wouldn't let us get it done, and this is the only way we can see the team here in the long term and competitive.
This is an enormous financial windfall for you. For people who say that isn't this just a great situation for the Kraft family? What would you say to that?
We weren't looking for this. When we couldn't solve our problem here, we looked for other alternatives. I don't look at it that way. This is a way to revitalize the city of Hartford, and it was nice to see the Connecticut political environment be bipartisan to do what was right for their state and city. And I hope that eventually one day happens in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Thank you very much, Bob. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you, Leslie. On a 3rd and 1, that was Ben Coates making the catch, taking it for a 1st down to the Miami 48-yard line. 1st down there. Bledsoe under pressure, going deep. Contact is made, but no flag. Sean Jefferson, I think, was trying to do everything he could to get an interference call, but the officials don't buy it on the underthrown pass. 2nd down.
He actually had Sean Jefferson, but this is the part of the field where you're throwing it into the wind, and that ball actually died around the 5-yard line. You know, Drew looked like he put everything he could to get it down there. He wouldn't win a punt, pass, and kick contest with that particular throw, but that might have been better served to throw it the other way when you had the opportunity.
2nd and 10, the ball at the 48-yard line. 9:26 left in the opening half. Cedric Shaw is in the game at running back. And that's Shaw with the ball, spelling Edwards, and gets taken down by Zach Thomas.
What a terrific tackle that was.
Well, it's a perfect look at what makes this Miami defense work. They have two giant tackles in the middle in Gardner and Bowens, and their job is to make sure everything gets funneled to the sideline. George Hill there in the middle is their 65-year-old defensive coordinator, and once a running back has to go parallel to the line of scrimmage, this is where the tremendous team speed of the Dolphins comes into play. And Zach Thomas, such a great burst to the football, gets there right at the line of scrimmage. That is the entire design of this defensive team.
3rd and 11 as Bledsoe throws and underthrows it, and it is intercepted by Sam Madison. Comes across the 50 and inside the 40-yard line and taken down at the 38-yard line.
Just a terrible thrown ball by Drew Bledsoe that time. It looked like to me he was trying to underthrow the receiver, and the receiver was trying to run. You could see right here Simmons is the rookie. He tries to underthrow the ball, and Madison comes back and makes a play, and Simmons keeps going on. You have to be careful when you're throwing it to rookies on the sideline trying to do something cute like that. He just lays it out there.
And Sam picks off his 4th of the season. That's the 16th for the team. Earlier, the Pats with their 18th interception, which leads the league. And this is John Avery on 1st down, taking it to the 28. A flag comes in at the end of the play after a 9-yard pickup.
You're going to have a face mask, I think, right at the end of the play there. It might only be a 5-yarder, though. $15-yarder.
It's going to be a 1st down.
That is an incredulous look on Pete Carroll's face.
You know, personal foul. Defense number 52, face mask. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
It's amazing. The New England Patriots get the ball back. They move. They get some momentum going, and then an interception turns the game around. Miami hasn't been able to do anything on the ground, and right after the interception, they basically pick up about another 22 yards when you tack on the penalty. It's an amazing thing in this league how momentum can switch on one play in the middle of a game like that.
One of the few times a Dolphins running back has gotten beyond the line of scrimmage. They've been stuffed all game. You're right, Boomer.
Yeah, Avery with 4 carries for 13 yards. Abdul-Jabbar 4 carries for 4 yards, 8 for 17.
Here's Danny audibling, actually, something that he doesn't do very often.
On 1st down, he gives the ball to Avery. And Avery takes the ball to the 11. That's a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Something he used to do more than any quarterback in the game.
They've made the offense so simple here for these young players just to play. And you can see their red zone offense is one of the best in the league. Problem is they don't get down there very much. When you really look at it, the amount of points that they score. But when they do get down there, they are efficient. But to go back to that for a minute, Dan, you're right. Dan Marino used to do it all the time at the line of scrimmage, but Jimmy Johnson has simplified this offense to a point where he might call 2 plays in a huddle, one to the right, one to the left. He'll read the defense, and he'll tell everybody at the line of scrimmage, this is where we're running.
2nd down, 7 from the 11-yard line. Crowd in full throat. Marino guns it incomplete, intended for McDuffie at the 4-yard line. The coverage that time by Lawyer Malloy. Malloy doing a great job this year. Ty Law having a tremendous season, leading the league in interceptions. And we asked Pete Carroll about Pro Bowl performers last night, who would go to the Pro Bowl right now, and those were the 2 guys he picked out. And as we said, it's been 12 years since the Pats have sent a defensive back to Honolulu.
Raymond Claiborne, as you mentioned earlier, Alan, you're right, Law was 7 interceptions, but he gets so much publicity, lost a little bit. Malloy has 5, and he's returned one of them for a touchdown as well.
Timeout is called by Miami to talk it over, preparatory to a 3rd and 7. Game tied at 7. In 1971, it opened in 71. That is less than Drew Bledsoe makes in a season.
They also practice here, Al, and it's not the greatest facility to practice in. So to attract free agents, it's not a very comfortable situation either for the New England Patriots.
Boy, but it's a lot of bang for your buck.
3rd down and 7 after the timeout, and it is caught by Aranda
Gadsden. Rhonda Gadsden, who this spring was playing in the Arena Football League for the Portland Forest Dragons, has just scored his second touchdown of the night.
This time a perfectly thrown ball by Dan Marino, high enough for his receiver to get, and the defensive back has no chance to make a play on it because of where he puts it and how quickly he delivers it.
Beautiful pass protection by his line up front. Dan not challenged at all, able to step right into it. Gadsden holding that ball where all can see it, Boomer.
Right.
Pretty good first half for this guy. And Al, tell us something we didn't already know. I mean, everybody here has had their fill of watching the Forest Dragons play arena football.
Break up them Forest Dragons, would you? They have. Gadsden's in Miami, and it's 14-7. Rhonda Gadsden. It's a pretty thin receiving core in Miami in terms of quality. O.J. McDuffie's their key guy. One guy they drafted last year, Yatil Green, was injured in training camp in '97. They came back. He was injured again, so Yatil Green has yet to play a down in the National Football League. They've been scrambling.
And another guy they drafted this year that they liked, a guy named Larry Shannon. He's on IR, and they were counting on him to be a part of this football team. So you're right. It's been a year-long scramble for the Miami Dolphins, and they still don't have any speed at wide receiver.
Here's Orlando Mare sending that one almost out under Route 1. ABC.
About Rhonda Gadsden that is so interesting is that the size of his hands. He wears a triple extra large glove, and tonight he's already made 2 great catches. And you can see right there the way he's holding the ball. Tonight he's made 2 great catches with his hands away from his body. Actually, a couple of guys on the Miami Dolphins said that he can actually palm 2 basketballs in one hand. I don't believe that.
I'd like to see that.
2 Nerf basketballs.
You really don't believe it?
Here's Bledsoe on first down. Deep caught at the 48 of Miami by Sean Jefferson. Bledsoe was giving Jefferson a little lip on the sideline after their last possession, and whatever they said, nope, it's manifested itself with a 32-yard pickup.
I think it was a good type of lip. It wasn't a problem that he dropped the last ball. He just said, hey, look, I'm still coming, and you don't get down on yourself. You know, last week he had a big drop, as Dan said, against Buffalo. But the thing that I like about Sean Jefferson last week, and it was refreshing, he stood up and he said, hey, if I make that catch, we have a chance to win the game. I take it on my shoulders.
From the 47-yard line, Robert Edwards picks up Ford at the 43. Edwards was the first guy in the history of the league to score a touchdown in each of his first 6 games. But since then, the results have been quite dissimilar.
Yeah, he's only scored 1 in the last 4.
Hey, he hit the rookie wall. He hit the rookie wall, guys.
Yep, look at the last 4 games right there, and look at his rushing average. It's dropped below 2.5 yards per carry. He was on the far side of 4 prior to that.
2nd and 7 from the 44. Dolphins leading by 7. Edwards is wrestled down by Derek Rogers.
Again, if you go outside against Miami, it's tough sledding.
Monday Night Football is being brought to you by
Night for this time of year, the Monday prior to Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
really far better weather than we could have hoped for this time of year.
November 23rd. I think it's it was almost 60 degrees in the greater Boston area today as Bledsoe throws, and it is caught by Terry Glenn, and he is out of bounds at the 36-yard line, enough for a first down.
The Patriots need points very badly on this particular drive. I mean, they were moving the ball effectively until Drew threw the interception on the last series. Now they have to get down and have to answer somewhere along the line here and get some points before halftime. Get some of the momentum back. Keep the fans into the game.
Well, if they can keep Terry Glenn in the game, it's going to be a huge plus for this Patriots offensive football team. They are just different when he's on the sideline.
From the 36, it's thrown over the middle. Glenn dropped it at the 30-yard line. The crowd wants a flag. Don't get it. Derek Rogers with the coverage.
No, they're getting the matchups that they want, especially on first down, staying in the shotgun and staying in their spread offense. But the linebackers for the Miami Dolphins in the middle of the defense, in the middle of the field, on a zone situation, are doing a good job of harassing these receivers coming across the middle. You got to catch that ball, though.
Of the three Dolphin linebackers, Derek Rogers by far and away the fastest.
Last 4 games, Drew Bledsoe, it's very uncharacteristic, under 40% in 2 of those 4, including the game against Miami last month. And this one is caught inside the 30-yard line. And this is Glenn, who gets wrestled down at the 26.
He's just not catching the ball cleanly. And he's been out for about 4 weeks, so you can see that he's suffering a little bit. But he's got to make those catches a little bit, not a little bit, a lot better than what he's making right now, because he's fumbling around out there a little bit.
And this ball's so close to the first down marker, they're going to bring it in for a measurement. It looks like he had it cleanly, then it ends up on his hip. He still doesn't have it. Then finally he puts it away just before he gets hit by Rogers.
When you're out of it a little bit, what ends up happening, you come back in, you start looking for guys that are going to be hitting you instead of concentrating on the football. And right there, Terry Glenn took his eye off the ball. See, he's looking for the guy that's going to hit him. Just catch it and turn forward and run up the field. Don't run to the sideline.
All right, Boomer, 3rd and a couple inches. Do you take a shot here, or do you just play it conservatively and bang it in there for the first down?
I run it.
Ernie Zampese.
I run it for a first down right here.
Would you?
Yes.
Ernie making the call.
Not tempted. Not tempted for a little play action and maybe a little quick slant.
There's been too much dead time. You know what I'm saying? There's been too much dead time. Just hand it off.
Oh, I thought you meant while I was talking.
No.
I had my feelings hurt there a little bit.
You're paranoid.
Thought you were a television critic for a second.
Quarterback sneak.
It is. Quarterback lean.
That's a big body right there. They'll give him the first down.
Oh, if he got the first down, it's by the length of a football or less.
We're going to measure again.
Drew was initially, it looked to me like he was stood up short of it, and then he fought and he got a little bit of leg drive going and moved himself forward about a foot or two.
I think he got it. Cole McGuire.
Well, watch initially right here. Right there, Drew doesn't have the first down. There he moves forward a little bit.
He has it.
Yeah. Well, Boomer talked earlier about how big Drew Bledsoe is. 6'5", 230-some pounds. 233, 235.
This is a game that Drew Bledsoe has to step up and he has to play well. He needs to have a big game tonight. He has to take this entire franchise and put it on his shoulders, and he's got to start making plays, and little plays like that signify to his teammates that he's playing in his game tonight.
First down from the 26-yard line, and it is tipped. Darrell Gardner got a hand on it.
One of the good matchups going here tonight is all-world left tackle Bruce Armstrong for the Patriots when he's working against Jason Taylor. Remember Jason Taylor from our Miami game with Jacksonville a while ago when he had that great fight going with Tony Baselli. And Jason Taylor so far here in the first half, not much of a factor in this ball game.
You know, the last time these two teams played, Jason Taylor and Bruce Armstrong got in it a little bit.
Yep, Armstrong got a personal foul late in the game.
That's because Jason likes to talk, and we saw that. He likes to antagonize people.
Well, right now,
a la Shannon Sharp out in Denver.
Nobody's that good.
Did you see what he said this week?
Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful.
He's still rubbing it in, and of course we can not forget, you know, that debacle we saw in Kansas City a week ago.
And give Marty Schottenheimer and the Kansas City Chiefs a lot of credit for the way they handled the way that whole thing took place.
Been a weird year on Monday night, guys. We have seen 5 road blowouts this year, 5 road victories of massive proportions, and the road teams are 7-4 on Monday night.
And that is unusual. That's not the way the home team on a Monday night game normally has a large advantage.
NFL since '73. Go back and take a look at the teams that began a year 11-0, and you've got Miami in '84, Chicago in '85, losing at Miami. Then Washington in '91. They were to go on to win the Super Bowl, and now you have the Broncos, who will try to go 12-0 against San Diego this coming Sunday night.
And They put 40 points on the board against an Oakland Raider defensive team that one of the very best in football this year. Willie Shaw's unit is just playing outstanding football. It has been a long time since I've seen an offensive team as crisp, as precise, as efficient as the Denver Broncos.
Tonight's game, in the meantime, nothing doing on the ground for either team. It's all been through the air. It's 2nd down and 10 from the 26-yard line, and the play is whistled dead.
Well, that's got to be a false start against the Patriots, because nobody from Miami came across the ball.
Chris Floyd, number 37, actually moved as well, the fullback. Be interesting if they saw him or one of the offensive linemen.
That's somebody in a blue shirt.
Before the snap, full start, offense, number 87. Correction, 84. 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Jefferson.
Oh, you know, it just drives you crazy when a wide receiver does that. I mean, they have no business jumping off sides. They're so far away from the placement of the ball that all they do is watch the ball.
That's a lack of concentration penalty. The kind that are perfectly avoidable and give coaches gray hair or no hair.
And if you're 1-4 in the last 5, those are the things that basically, you know, show up.
2nd and 15. Bledsoe throws. It is caught at the 25-yard line. That's Terry Glenn making the catch. Trailing him and making the play is Derek Rogers, the linebacker.
Do you think because of Glenn's hamstring that maybe they're not really stretching the field with Terry, that he's doing a lot of crossing patterns, a lot of shorter patterns across the middle, Boomer?
I think that they're trying to set him up against the linebacker, the swifter, the shorter, the quicker guy against the linebacker. And if you can get the ball out in front of him and let him run for it, you might be able to break him free. But that ball was a little bit behind. And you could see that his numbers are way down because of his injuries. He had a big year, his rookie year, and since then he's been injury prone.
3rd and 9. Derek Cullers in as the 3rd down. Back catch is made by Tony Simmons, the rookie, for a 1st down to the 14-yard line. Big grab by the kid out of Wisconsin.
And with Simmons, you're putting a bigger body going across the middle of the field. At 6'1", 206, he actually looks bigger than that. And that is the kind of a target a guy like Drew Bledsoe loves to see in the middle of the football field. Nice catch with the hands.
And Pete Carroll was saying that Tony Simmons plays big. And for those people who don't play in the NFL, playing big means that you're not afraid to go across the middle, catch the ball, and break a couple tackles, you know, and make a play out of it after you catch it.
1st and 10 from the 14. Bledsoe to throw. It is caught at the 9 by Ben Coates, and he gets wrestled down. It's going to be 2nd down and 5. 2-minute warning coming up. And the Pats have 2 timeouts at their disposal. 2 minutes remaining in the opening half, with the Dolphins on top, 14-7. 2 minutes left in the opening half. The New England Patriots have the ball at the Miami 9-yard line. Miami on top, 14-7.
An area here now where Ben Coates looms large. You can get him up and single him up against one of those safeties in the middle. He has such a size advantage down here. We saw it the last time the Patriots were at this part of the field.
And you got that 4-yard buffer there where you can pick up a 1st down without getting into the end zone. So a lot of options for the Patriots offensively.
2nd down and 5. Jefferson in motion. On the ground, Edwards almost stopped in the backfield, gets the ball to close to the 7-yard line, setting up a 3rd down and about 3.
Interesting call there is the fact that you can't run the ball and you haven't run it all night long. I would think that you'd want to try to take a shot, at least 2 shots into the end zone with your big tight end or either one of your speedy wide receivers on the outside.
Well, the clock ticking away, working its way down to a 1.5 minutes left here in the half. Better do a better job of blocking than that time. Tim Bowens was 3 yards in New England's backfield.
So now they have everybody spread out. He's in the shotgun. Watch the middle of the field with Sean Jefferson or Ben Coates.
3rd and a short 4 from the 8-yard line. Bledsoe to the end zone, and that's incomplete. He tried to jam it into Coates, and Zach Thomas with the coverage, and Drew wants a flag, doesn't get it.
Drew goes down on bended knee.
You could see Zach Thomas and Ben Coates fighting off the line of scrimmage, but this is really where you want to go. You have your all-pro tight end one-on-one. The thing you want to do there now is you want to throw the ball high. You want to let your big tight end be able to extend with his hands to go up and get and make a play.
Well, you know, the crowd's booing because Zach Thomas went way beyond the 5-yard zone with his hands all over Ben Coates.
And he didn't even make a play for it.
No, that should have been called.
Mini mugging. 26-yard attempt by Adam Vinatieri is good to make it 14-10.
You know, down here in the red zone, really what you want to do, especially the tight red zone, you spread them out, you try to create matchups. And here's a matchup that if you're a New England Patriot, that's what you want.
You know, you look at that a second time, Ben Coates actually has his hand on Zach Thomas's jersey. In a sense, he's almost pulling Thomas along. I'm going to back up and say maybe they shouldn't have called him. Maybe that is a good non-call.
Well, the problem there is that every week in practice, you'll practice throwing the ball at the back end of the end zone so your receiver can make the play. And given that kind of matchup, you want to throw the ball high. And you want to let Ben Coates extend with his arms and his big body to be able to make the play, and that ball wasn't high enough. Now, if it's a slant pattern where a guy's coming towards the middle of the field, you want to throw it down low and let the guy go down low and get it.
You're right, though, Dan. I mean, Coates had his hands on the shirt of Thomas.
Yep, well, I didn't see that from the first angle, so I am printing a verbal retraction. And Boomer, that's an excellent point about throwing the ball up in the air. You know, did you used to play quarterback or something?
Somewhere. I don't know where it was, but it was somewhere. A lot of different planes, a lot of different airports, a lot of different uniforms.
Was you ever in Cincinnati?
So were you, Al, weren't you?
You bet. Vinatieri to kick off. 15-yard line, John Avery. Out to the 27. Miami now has 2 timeouts. Larry Wiggum makes the tackle. 14-10 with 1:03 to go in the half. Here's Chris Berman in Baltimore.
Thanks, Al. Ahead on the Lexus halftime show, the ESPN Top 10 Plays of the Week, with Plummer playing Montana, Rivers doing his Sanders, and Elway masquerading at wideout. Also the latest BCS standings. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you, Chris. Again, a look down upon Foxborough Stadium, filled as always tonight. On a gorgeous late November evening, 14-10, good game.
This stadium has been sold out all 5 years that Bob Kraft has owned this franchise.
Capacity a little more than 60,000 as Marino goes to the air on first down, and that is incomplete, intended for Lamar Thomas, covered by the rookie out of Syracuse to Bucky Jones.
And you can see Jimmy Johnson just absolutely livid on the sideline and wants to know why there's no pass interference. And you want to know something? He probably has a case.
Well, boy, it's been a while since I've seen Jimmy this upset. And you know he's upset when the hair moves. Well, there's the one shot.
Whoa, definitely, absolutely.
Whoa, baby.
Tom Finken, the side judge, is right there.
Bucky was lucky.
2nd and 10. It is caught up at the 30-yard line by Bernie Parmalee, and he gets taken down by the ankle at the 31 by Larry Wiggum.
This officiating crew tonight in the passing game is allowing a lot of contact.
You know, the interesting thing here now is that Dan's in a 2-minute drill, but he's almost taken too much time. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of confidence in this part of the offense for the Miami Dolphins.
Letting the clock in effect run down, and they have 2 timeouts. It's 3rd and 6, and they're going to keep the ball on the ground and give it to Parmalee. And Bernie is not going to get the first down.
But on the road.
You got to call timeout if you're New England here.
Yep. Yeah, New England at least go after the punt and get a shot at blocking it. But if you're Jimmy Johnson and the Miami Dolphins, being on the road at a place that's a tough win for you traditionally over the years, you're happy to go into the locker room with a 4-point lead.
You know, but the thing about it is that if you're going to let the clock run down, just let it run down and get into the huddle. You know, now with the way you ran it, you actually give New England a chance to go after a punt here, and give Pete Carroll and his coaching staff credit for calling the timeout and making this an offensive play for them.
Meanwhile, Johnson's still working the officials. He went all the way down to the 35-yard line to talk to the side judge.
Of course, it happened right in front of JJ, so he thought he had a pretty good vantage point.
And he's been very animated tonight. This is not the only time that we've seen that. He's been going at it for the better part of the first half.
He's paced 10 miles along that sideline tonight.
You know, let's face it, Jimmy Johnson knows what a killer instinct is, and he knows his team has their foot on the throat of the New England Patriots, and he wants to take advantage of it.
Here's Klaus Wilmsmeyer's punt. Chris Canty back to receive it, but he lets it bounce, and that's going to pretty much take almost all of the time off the clock.
I believe that's it.
That is it. They whistle it dead at 000.
Smart play by New England. Try to force the punt, but don't give him a chance to fumble.
End of the first half in Foxborough. Ed Hockley saying hold on, wants the band to hold on here for a second.
The illegal touching by the kicking team in the last play of the half allows the receiving team an opportunity for an extension, which they have declined. The half is over.
An extension?
Yes.
What kind of extension?
They could have had a free kick, I guess. They could have attempted a field goal.
From 97. 14-10. Miami leads it at the half. The top 10 plays of the week coming up on our Lexus halftime show. And back we come after this message from the NFL.
The ESPN Zone, Chris Berman. Hello once again, everybody. The score at halftime, the Dolphins 14 and the Patriots 10. In our ESPN Top 10 Plays of the Week connections, Canada Gray to Buffalo Blue, Smith to Elway, Aikman to Adams, and Brunell to Washington. Oops. And Randall to Randy again. Play 10. What about Jake the Snake Plummer? Last 2 games, 3 touchdowns running, 5 touchdowns passing, 716 yards throwing, and more importantly, the Cardinals are 6-5. Play 9. John Elway, 50,000 yards passing, joining only Dan Marino, and his 4th career reception. Is there anything the 11-0 Broncos can't do right? Play 8. Is there anything Doug Flutie can't do right? Well, when you get the 3rd leading receiver of all time, Andre Reed, why not? He'll end up the year with close to 900 catches. Reed turns to Tyrone Poole and says, take his swim. Touchdown as the Bills are now 7-4. Dudley, 2 right in the Mounties escort the Grey Cup on the field in Winnipeg. 4th quarter, Calgary Stampeders against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Danny McManus to Archie Amerson. Watch the Stampeder defenders. Boom! It cuts like a knife. Hamilton, with minutes to go, takes the lead 24-23. But in the final play of the game, Mark McLaughlin reports his 4th field goal, 35 yards, 26-24 Calgary. The Stampeders fittingly celebrate on a horse. Play 6. What about the backup running backs? 1 carry, 1 touchdown. It's not Barry Sanders, but it's Ron rolling on the rivers for Detroit over Tampa Bay. For Minnesota, it's not Robert Smith. It's Leroy Ford. Ooh, as they bowl the Packers for a 2nd time. It's the bat, the pick, and the score for Seattle's Sam Adams, a.k.a. the Keg. Play 3. Reports that Dwayne Washington was traded from Pittsburgh to Jacksonville. Not true. Mark Brunell never got him. Not 1 touchdown for an interception return, but 2. He could go all the way. Pittsburgh within 1 of Jacksonville in the hot AFC Central. What about the old-time announcers? Winning touchdown for the Chargers by Charlie Jones. And what about those young receivers? We've seen it all year. Not true. Mark Brunell never got him. Not 1 touchdown for an interception return, but 2. He could go all the way. Pittsburgh within 1 of Jacksonville in the hot AFC Central. What about the old-time announcers? Winning touchdown for the Chargers by Charlie Jones. And what about those young receivers? We've seen it all year. Randall Cunningham to Randy Moss for the 2nd time. Moss turned the Packers around. 2 games, 343 yards receiving against the Packers. The Rolling Stone gathers no Moss. The Vikings have gathered Moss in a 10-1 record. And they are the first team to gather a playoff berth for the 98 season. We're not even at Thanksgiving. Coming up in the Lexus halftime show, news and notes, the BCN standings at college football, and a look back at the first half. 14-10, Miami.
Dolphins are back in the old character right now, and that first touchdown pass came on a 4th down and 10 play in the first quarter, and he winds up hitting the old Arena League star, Aranda Gadsden, for the touchdown to make the score 7-0. A terrific fingertip catch by Gadsden. But New England was able to answer that with a touchdown drive of their own as Ben Coates fights his way to the 1-yard line, then bends in for the score to tie it. Then it was that man Gadsden again about halfway through the second quarter as Marino links up for his second touchdown pass of the night that made the score 14-7. Vinatieri added a late field goal to make it 14-10. So we talked about Miami's rushing game and its defense, but back we go to number 13 tonight, Mr. Marino.
Yes, and that's what's worked for him in the first half, Al, but I'll tell you something. I've got to think that they're going to revert back to form in the second half. And even though they've only rushed for 25 yards in half number 1, when they want to protect a lead, Jimmy Johnson always falls back to the running game. And even though Danny has a couple of touchdown passes, I'm going to be very shocked if we don't see Miami just pound the ball away at the New England Patriots. And, you know, Boomer, what do they have to do to get back in?
You might as well forget the running game for the Patriots because they can't even move the ball on the ground. Drew has 171 yards through the air right now, but more importantly, he threw that one bad interception that led to 7 points for the Miami Dolphins. He has to continue to find ways to get the ball to Terry Glenn. No mistakes, no interceptions, and they have a chance to win it.
And again, their season very much on the line tonight. Either they're 6-5 and back in it, or 5-6 and dead on arrival. Second half when we come back.
Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots ready to take the football as we start the second half in Foxborough. Olindo Mate to kick off. 14-10, the Dolphins on top. Al Michaels with Dan Dierdorf, Boomer Esiason, Leslie Visser as the 12th week of the season winds down. Next week on to San Francisco for Monday night. The Giants against the 49ers. Jimmy Johnson on the road, and it goes back to his days with Dallas. 14 consecutive road wins when leading at the half. Looking for 15 tonight. Derek Cullors from the 6-yard line. Cuts it back. And brings it up to the 41-yard line with no flags, tackled by Olindo Mate. Let's go to Leslie Visser.
Al, Jimmy Johnson said the fourth quarter is critical, where the Dolphins have lost 2 games on the road this year in the fourth quarter. As for the officiating, he was still very upset when he came out of the locker room. He said Jackson was knocked down by Ben Coates and they called nothing on the other side. I don't understand it, Al.
They never understand it.
Well, there has been a lot of contact in the passing game tonight, and the guys are letting them play. At least be consistent, and that's what they're doing tonight. They're not calling it on either side.
Ben Coates in motion. Little toss to Robert Edwards as they begin on the ground with the same results they experienced in the first half. Robert Jones now playing the outside backer spot, former middle linebacker in Dallas, making the tackle. Take a look at the numbers for the first half, and as you can see, nothing on the ground, everything through the air. 171 for the Pats, 108 for the Dolphins.
Well, a pretty large rushing advantage to New England.
You know, Dan, they must not have listened. They must not have listened to me at halftime. Forget the run.
Well, and if you're going to run against Miami,
it's got to be straight ahead. You can't. You're not going to outrun them outside, especially with the speed at the linebacker position and the way that they play their linebackers.
They just lost that advantage on that last rush.
They're down now to what, about 22 or 23 now.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Now they give it to Derek Cullors, and he gets dragged down. Good tackle made by Robert Jones, but a flag goes down.
We're going to have holding against the New England Patriots.
Such awesome team speed on the defensive side of the ball for the Miami Dolphins.
You know what else, too? I mean, it's basically a cheap defense in terms of cap money out there. I mean,
holding by the offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
3 things that Jimmy Johnson, every coach, would love to have: young, inexpensive, and fast. You know, the 3 attributes that you would give to this defense of the Miami Dolphins.
In contrast, remember when Dan once described the Bears about 6 years ago as what? Old, slow,
and small.
And expensive.
Not a good thing for a defensive team.
No.
No, with the way that Jimmy Johnson coaches, he needs young players because he is on them constantly, and young players really don't know any different.
2nd and 23 from the 27-yard line. Bledsoe throws, and that's incomplete, intended for Tony Simmons. Sam Madison with the coverage.
Well, Boomer, you talk about Jimmy Johnson and his coaching style. You know, this is a hard game. It's a hard game to play. It's a hard game to practice. And I've never known a successful team where the coach wasn't a pusher, somebody who prodded his players, someone who was constantly on them to do it and do it the right way. And Jimmy, like Bill Parcells and a lot of other guys, he's that type of a hammering in your face coach.
And if you're injured, he's not in your face. He doesn't even talk to you.
No,
you might as well forget about it.
You're a non-entity if you're hurt.
3rd and 23, showing blitz. Here they come. They pick it up. Bledsoe going deep, and it is intercepted again. Sam Madison has his 2nd interception. And Madison all the way to the 35-yard line. Jerry Wilson put the blitz on from the corner that time, forcing the issue. Madison with his 2nd pick, and the Dolphins do a dance.
I don't know what kind of dance that was, but I can tell you right now, you can't just throw the ball up down the sideline carelessly. And you could see Simmons actually looks like he has an opportunity, and Drew underthrows the ball again.
Madison did a nice job there with his left arm of pinning Simmons' arm to his body and got away with it.
And you can see Drew having to fall back after he throws because of the safety blitz.
Jerry Wilson, that's about the 4th time tonight Wilson's come off the corner.
They love to send him, and he's been effective. Now the Dolphins at the 35-yard line. Early in the 3rd, up by 4. Marino under pressure, throws, and completes it to Troy Drayton for a short gain, but Dan avoids the sack.
You know, Dan, did you see the movement there? I mean, you and I were talking last week about the effectiveness of a quarterback and where he sets his landmark in the pocket. You told me that you had a guy by the name of Jim Hart where you knew he was going to be all the time.
I think it's a tremendous advantage for an offensive lineman to know where your quarterback is going to be, that he's going to be in the pocket. And Jimmy Hart, like you and like Dan Marino and all successful quarterbacks, have a pocket awareness. They make subtle moves, and yet they make them look like big moves.
2nd and 7. To the ground they go. This is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the 26-yard line. Tackled there by Willie Clay, a little short of the 1st down. Kareem, he wears just the Abdul on the back of his shirt. He changed his name. He was Sharman Shaw in college. Then he became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And the basketball Kareem filed suit against this Kareem for marketing rights. And as part of the settlement, this Abdul-Jabbar agreed to only have the name Abdul on his back.
Now, can I do that to Chris Berman when he uses my nickname, Boomer?
That's plagiarism.
Can I do that or what?
Consult your lawyer.
I have to consult Kareem out in L.A.
Talk to lawyer Malloy. 3rd and 1 from the 26. Marino buying time, gunning it to the 20-yard line. The Patriots say no, and so does the official. O.J. McDuffie short-hopped it.
Boy, look at Dan get into it here.
You know what? This is the Dan Marino that I've seen for many years. And it looks like Jimmy Johnson's going to go for it again, and he has to make sure that he has his wits about his players, but that looked like a good catch to me.
Oh, that looked more than just a good catch. That's an outstanding catch by O.J. McDuffie. Whoa, baby.
Dolphins 4th and 1. They will not attempt what would be about a 44 or 45-yard field goal, going for it on 4th and 1. And they toss the ball back to Abdul-Jabbar, and he doesn't get it.
Oh, I can't believe how bad the call was on 3rd down. And you could see Dan Marino still jawing at the officials.
And on 4th down, they go to a play that you really don't see the Dolphins running a whole lot. That deep pitch back to Abdul-Jabbar. Boy, that's not exactly what I draw up as a short yardage play, but it shouldn't have come to that.
Giving right here on ABC.
And if you haven't seen Ricky Williams play yet, take the time. Fabulous.
So New England holding on downs, and now Bledsoe going deep, and it is caught inside the 30 by Robert Edwards. They send the running back all the way deep downfield. Brock Marion makes the stop.
They just had him out in the flat and they let him run up the sideline. And really, you could see that the safeties of the Miami Dolphins did not get good enough width, especially Marion. He should have made the play. That ball hung up there for an awful long time.
Terrell Buckley is the corner underneath. Marion, the safety, trying to come over from the middle.
And Marion was right there. He should have made the play. Actually, it looked like Terrell Buckley fell asleep a little bit because he knew that he was on the running back.
Buckley almost took that coverage for granted, it looked like.
46-yard pickup, and they give the ball right back to Edwards, who takes it down to the 21. Gain of 4. Calvin Jackson makes the tackle.
So many crucial plays in a game, and you look back at the third down conversion that the Miami Dolphins did make with O.J. McDuffie's catch on the sideline, and you realize just how important officials are in this game, making sure that their calls are accurate and on top and on the money.
At the 22, 10:38 left third quarter. Miami leading 14-10. Bledsoe operating from the shotgun against a 4-man Miami rush. Finds the open man. It's Terry Glenn, seeks the first down and gets it, and the flag is thrown.
That's got to be
coming up on Calvin Jackson.
Oh, and they come in. A couple extra ones come in late for good measure.
You know, Dan, you had asked me earlier, you know, why do they keep sending Terry Glenn across the middle? Well, this time they made like he was going to come across the middle, and then they broke him away. And you know, every pattern has a meaning to it. And this time you could see Rodgers jumping on the crossing route of Terry Glenn, and he comes out of it and runs away from it.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal. Number was number 31. Automatic first down.
Well, actually, the number was 38, Calvin Jackson. And that is not the garden variety face mask, the personal foul kind. And this is an outstanding opportunity now for the Patriots. They get the ball first and goal.
In that particular last play, that would be considered a halftime adjustment, saying, hey, you know, every time we run across the middle, we're getting hammered. Let's make like we're running across the middle and come back out of the break.
First and goal, the ball at the 7-yard line. Edwards swings to the outside, and then Jackson takes him down. Almost another face mask. In fact, we will have one.
You'll have holding is what you'll have on the offensive line of the New England Patriots.
Ed Hockley with the quick signal. Pete just can't believe that his team constantly gets into this situation
holding
and hurts themselves.
Offense number 85, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Lovett Furnell, and he'll get an earful from Carroll.
There he is at the top of your screen, number 85. He's the reason that Robert Edwards is able to get to the outside, as he really just completely hog-ties Kenny Mixon.
Hog-tied.
Where'd that come from? Hog-tied.
Keith Jackson.
Ooh, nearly.
First and goal from the 17. Bledsoe throws, and Ben Coates was the intended receiver, and Jones might have gotten a hand on it. Second and goal now from the 17-yard line.
But see here, Ben Coates right here on the line of scrimmage, knowing that he's going to be locked up with Jones going down the middle of the field. Anytime you see a team use 5 wide receivers and spread the defense, they're going to try to throw it down the middle of the field like this.
Second and goal from the 17-yard line. Pressure, and Bledsoe gets sacked at the 26. Lorenzo Bromell, the rookie from Clemson, was able to squirt through.
And Al, he picks up his 5th sack of the year, and he's got the 2nd most sacks in the league for a rookie defensive lineman. Only Vonnie Holliday of the Packers has more. I think he's got 8. So this guy, for somebody, unless you're a Miami Dolphins fan, you never heard of this guy. Lorenzo Bromell, but 5 sacks on the year for a rookie defensive lineman. Is getting it done. That time a 9-yard loss.
And you see number 99, Jason Taylor, right there. Carbon copies of one another. Both are 6'6". Both are about 260 pounds, and both can come after the quarterback.
They went from 1st and goal from the 7-yard line to 3rd and goal, and almost intercepted. Zach Thomas knocked it down. So from almost getting it into the end zone to anything but a chip shot field goal attempt.
And Zach Thomas has been taking some ribbing from his teammates all year long about dropping interceptions. They make fun about his lack of hands. And this ball hits him pretty squarely, I believe.
This ball is just
it's back behind him. It is back behind him.
What's amazing is the inaccuracy that we're seeing from Drew Bledsoe tonight. Those are uncharacteristic throws of his.
That would have been a tough one.
44-yard field goal attempt by Vinatieri, and with the wind having calmed down, he bangs it through. Flags were still atop the goalpost, but Carroll not happy. From 1st and goal, they have to settle for 3 to make it 14-13. Miami.
Well, there's Drew Bledsoe, boy, and Pete Carroll's been giving him an earful. You know, you can't throw the interceptions, especially when you're inside the red zone.
Adam Vinatieri sends it down to the 1-yard line. John Avery, the Ole Miss rookie, is run out of bounds as he crosses the 24-yard line. 51 remaining in the 3rd quarter. A good one in Foxborough with Miami up by 1. Quarterback at 50%, but Bledsoe throwing for twice as much yardage. However, he figures right there at the bottom.
Yeah, I think that both of these defenses are presenting problems, obviously, for each offense, but you have to be careful when you're throwing the football, especially in a game this tight. You can't be reckless with your decision making.
Now the Dolphins leading by 1, 1st down from their own 25-yard line. Down. Nice tackle made by Slade, but a flag comes in.
He wants a face mask. How many face masks have we had tonight?
A passel.
You know, Chris Slade, who's been fighting his way back from injury, didn't play last week. He's got a bad ankle, and you know, by and large,
personal foul, face mask, defense number 53, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
As we take a look at Slade here, as he makes the break, fights off the block, and lunges for Avery, and that is the 15-yard kind when he hauls him down. But by and large, I think New England's defense is playing pretty well for as banged up as they are. Keep in mind that Willie McGinnis isn't playing, Todd Collins isn't playing, Mark Wheeler isn't playing, and a lot of the other guys are playing hurt, like Eaton and Henry Thomas. This is really kind of a decimated defensive football team for New England.
They've had 18 different defensive starters and 18 different offensive starters this season. From the 40-yard line, Marino throws. It's caught by the fullback Stanley Pritchard. He's tackled immediately by Slade after a gain of 4. Those 36 different starters equals the most by any team in the league.
You know, you have to wonder. When I think about it, is that nobody really cares about injuries. All they care about is wins. And you know, you could sit here and we can belabor the point about it, but it ultimately comes back to, you know, this guy Pete Carroll putting the pressure on his players, you know, and making sure that, you know, their injuries are such that they can't play with.
No, but you have to document the fact that this many guys are
absolutely.
hurt.
Yeah, hey, I know that. I'm not discounting the fact.
There's a cause and effect here. The Dolphins have had the fewest starters in the league, along with a couple of other teams, as O.J. McDuffie makes the catch. They've been relatively injury-free. They've used only 28 different starters. The Packers and the Falcons with a like figure. And it will tell you, as you look at the Falcons in particular, that if you can avoid a lot of injuries, success comes your way. Tip ball here.
Look at that thing.
Looked like Ferric Collins was the guy that altered the course of that ball.
You know, the other thing too is you see Pete talking to Chris Slade. You know, the guys are playing injured. That also says something about, you know, the guy that they're playing for as well.
1st and 10 at the Pat 47-yard line. Marino, his receiver fell down, looks for a flag, and gets one. Lamar Thomas did a 360 and said, "Where's the yellow?" The official said, "Here it is, sir."
Well, he went pleading his own case.
Well, you could see Lawyer Malloy just walking away from it, not arguing, so you know that there was some sort of contact. And you just watch what Malloy does here. He hits him.
Pass interference, defense number 36. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
I think the hard thing right now for, the fans to, you could see that, but what happens is the flag comes so late that the people in the stadium think that the official is reacting to what the wide receiver was doing, but that was not the case. And then they see the replay on the scoreboard, and I guess so.
You have to say to you, what the heck was Malloy thinking about just jacking a guy like that downfield? Not a brilliant play.
At the 32-yard line, 1st and 10, Miami. Now to the ground. Avery's done the bulk of the ball carrying tonight, picks up 2 to the 30-yard line.
We were talking a little bit about the injuries of the Patriots. Other than really the game against Atlanta that they got blown out here at home, I mean, their defense has done a good job. Even though they've been injured, they've given up yards. They gave up big yards on the ground last week against Buffalo. But you know what? They didn't give up a lot of points. And Willie McGinnis is a guy, that you count on getting, 10 to 12, 14 sacks a year. And with him not playing, I think the defense has done a pretty good job of not giving up a lot of points.
Keeping him
in the game.
Especially tonight. 2nd down and 9 at the 30-yard line. 14-13 Miami. Pressure by Slade from the backside, but they ride him off, and then McDuffie makes the catch. Upended at the 13-yard line, but a first down. Steve Israel makes the stop.
Dan Marino is getting good protection from his offensive line. Take a look at it from behind and look at the look that Dan gets downfield. He has to dodge a rush from the outside, but no pressure up the middle. And in his entire NFL career, every defensive coordinator will tell you, to be successful, you have to come at Dan Marino right up the center.
And Dan has to take a timeout, uses his first, to the dismay of Jimmy Johnson. With 5:32 left in the third, the Dolphins nursing a 1-point lead. This is very reflective of the recent history when these two teams have met. Just no rushing at all. The Dolphins 2.1, the Pats 1.9. Again, the league average annually around 4.0. So half of that for each team tonight. Miami leading 14-13 after just taking a timeout. First down at the 13-yard line. Marino, good protection again, and then throws, and it's incomplete, intended for Stanley.
That ball got tipped by somebody.
2nd down. Tomorrow on Spin City, Yankee manager Joe Torre will be celebrating Thanksgiving early with Mike and the gang. That's tomorrow on Spin City right here on ABC.
Second down.
2nd down and 10 at the 13-yard line. Marino caught. John Avery out of the backfield, ridden down at the 6-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 2.
Another good offensive play set up by the Miami Dolphins, trying to get Avery on Slade in the flat. And really all you're trying to do down here in the red zones, the tight red zones, is to get players in situations where you can use their speed and their ability and take advantage of a mismatch.
Huge defensive play here for New England to try to hold them to a field goal attempt on 3rd and 2 from the 6-yard line. And Avery seeks the first down. He's very close. Very close. Teddy Bruschi made the tackle.
6 inches short.
You think so?
4 inches short.
Yeah. It's a guess. I think he's short, which means tough call here for Jimmy Johnson, nursing a 1-point lead. With his defensive football team, boy, you got to be tempted to send out Mare to kick the field goal.
He will be a little short. Very nice.
Very nice, Dan.
Very nice.
That's actually 9 inches. You were close.
I believe it's 8 5/8 inches.
And they're going to kick the field goal. I think that this is exactly the type of game that Jimmy Johnson wants. He wants a low-scoring defensive struggle, and he's probably watching with the way that Drew Bledsoe's been throwing the football.
Not that he wouldn't take a touchdown, but again, you dance with who brung you. The #1 defensive team in the league. In the category that counts.
How about a fake?
Not with Wilmsmeyer taking the snap. 22-yard attempt. Oh, he made it interesting, didn't he?
That great pressure up the middle.
They tack on 3 to extend the lead to 4. 17-13 Dolphins. Back in Foxborough on a gorgeous late November evening. Temperature in the 50s. And a good game with Miami on top by a score of 17-13 following the Mate field goal.
And an early happy Thanksgiving to everybody. A holiday week here coming up.
Boy,
absolutely.
I bet you like Thanksgiving, don't you, Dan?
I do.
Yeah, I could tell.
Boomer, lay off me, I'm telling you.
Mate. Otherwise, he's going to make you a wishbone. At the 16-yard line, this is Derek Cullors at the 28-yard line. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Sprint, for all the ways you communicate, Sprint keeps you connected to your world. And Norelco, for an unexpectedly close shave, put it to the test. And being put to the test right now is the entire season for the New England Patriots, because a win and they are a game out in the AFC East and very much in contention, and a loss at 5-6 with 3 teams in front of them is deadly. From the 28-yard line, Bledsoe on first down, caught by Ben Coates. And when you look, gents, at the New England season, it's a tale of 2 seasons. 4-1 their first 5 games, with that big win over Kansas City being that 4th win, and then they've lost 4 out of 5.
And when we looked at that team, we looked at that tape of when they just destroyed Kansas City.
And here is Coach again making
there goes Ben.
The catch.
Yeah. And the interesting thing here now is that they're going into the 2-minute hurry-up offense. And I think really what Pete Carroll wants to do is get Drew Bledsoe in a rhythm. I mean, he wants to get him at the line of scrimmage, but now they're going to go back to the huddle. But, you know, why not? It works. It keeps you at the line of scrimmage. It keeps you thinking. It keeps you in the game. And it doesn't slow you down.
Al, what we didn't realize is when they beat Kansas City that badly, that was pretty much it for both of those clubs.
Yes. Yeah.
It finished them both off.
Chiefs in a true funk, losing yesterday, but New England trying to somehow right the ship. 1st and 10. And that's caught by Glenn, and Glenn picks up close to 10.
Obviously, by putting Drew Bledsoe in the shotgun, they're giving him a little bit more time, and they're sending 5 guys out. I would think that Miami's going to blitz here pretty soon, and then try to force Bledsoe into a quick decision and hopefully a bad decision from their standpoint. And here's that play again where they start him across and bring him back out. And you know, again, that's the matchup that you want. That's the halftime adjustment that people are looking for. That's exactly what they're doing right now.
Glenn's 5th catch of the game for 40 yards, 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. To the ground, to Edwards, and Edwards with a nice thrust takes it to the 31-yard line. Tackled there by Brock Marion.
Well, you can see Miami, they're trying to make a late adjustment to get into a 4-man defensive line when New England went to the I formation, playing the run. But still, George Hill's unit didn't get set in time, and it was one of the rare good offensive surges off the ball by the Patriots.
The one thing that you can do as an offense against an aggressive defense like this is pick the tempo up a little bit. force them to make the adjustments against you.
Here's Edwards again on 2nd and 4. Taken down before he can reach the line of scrimmage. Shane Burton.
Boy, in one of the rare instances tonight where either one of these offensive teams has had a second and decent yardage. It was 2nd and 4, and they squandered that. Turned it into a play with negative yardage.
You can see, actually, Drew snaps the ball before the defense can get ready. But it was a great surge by the defensive line of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, it started with Trace Armstrong, who got inside his guy. First Dolphin player who was upfield, and he's the guy that altered the entire flow of that play.
Edwards now 12 carries for 20 yards, a 1.7 average. It's 3rd down and 6.
And here comes the blitz again, so he's going to have to make a quick decision to get rid of it.
Pressure from the corner. He gets rid of it. Glenn makes the catch, but he's short of the first down by a yard or so. The pressure again, Jerry Wilson coming in from the corner.
Now the wind is behind the New England Patriots here. And so a long field goal, I would think, is not out of the question.
And that's what they're going to do. You know, in that last play, Dan, Terrell Buckley takes an awful chance. He comes off of his outside receiver to try to get an interception out here. Terry Glenn does a nice job of holding on to the ball right there.
We're looking at a 45-yard field goal attempt with a light breeze. Adam Vinatieri from 45 yards away, and he boots it through. And New England back within a point now with 31 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. 17-16 Miami.
And I don't think anybody who has charted the history of these two playing one another is the least bit surprised that this is a low-scoring, competitive football game. You knew that this was going to be a real dog and cat fight tonight.
But I think if you're the Patriots, you found something here now by moving the ball at a quick pace and putting Drew in the shotgun on 1st and 2nd down. Hey, you can't run the football. You have to try it every now and again just to keep the defense honest. But, hey, keep him back there in the shotgun and let him play. And he's shown pretty good effectiveness, especially on the last series in that situation.
Well, one of the things, guys, that Drew Bledsoe has found that just hasn't been there for him much this year is Terry Glenn. What a huge plus it is for this offensive football team to get number 88 back in the mix.
No, I don't know of another receiver right now in the league that is, you know, they're all valuable. I mean, you think of all the great ones, Jerry Rice and Chris Carter and Carl Pickens and now Keyshawn Johnson. But this guy, when he's out of the lineup, basically this offense goes in the tank. I don't know if that could be said for the other guys.
And those have been hard yards for Terry Glenn. You saw that, only 7.5 yards per reception. That's tough work in the middle, the short side of the field for a guy that's not real big.
Adam Vinatieri sends it down to the 1-yard line. John Avery taken down at the 25-yard line. We talked about the importance of this game, obviously, to New England with their season at stake. And then there's Miami. I mean, people are going to begin to think about this team as a very serious Super Bowl contender. Jimmy Johnson said he had pretty much a 3-year plan. He hoped by the 3rd year to get to the Super Bowl. Earlier this season, didn't look like he had a chance. Now, who knows?
And it's a very competitive division here in the AFC East. The Jets are playing very good football, or the Patriots, if they can win this game tonight, tighten it up to only one win out of there. And Buffalo with Doug Flutie.
The Flutie magic right down the road. You know, this is really as competitive of a division as there is. This is taking the place of the NFC Central right now as we sit.
Marino going to the air in the waning moments of the 3rd quarter on 1st down and guns it into the arms of Ihani Owezike at the 39-yard line, but the line judge comes in and says Steve Ezreal knocked the ball loose and it's incomplete. Owezike picked up from San Francisco recently. Jimmy Johnson said, you know, I wasn't quite sure how to pronounce his name, but then he started to look real good in practice and I learned.
Well, if he were injured, he wouldn't even be at practice.
Yeah, they just claimed him back on the 9th of this month, and they said he knows the system, so that's making it a lot easier for him to slide in here a little bit, and he's a smart guy.
He makes that catch, he'll slide in a lot easier.
2nd down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar stuffed. on what will be the final play of the period. Henry Thomas makes the tackle. That's the end of the third quarter. Miami 17, New England 16. And Monday Night Football resumes after this from our ABC stations. Breeze really picking up. The question is, will those flags be at half-staff, figuratively, tonight for the New England Patriots, or not? Or will they still be rippling in the breeze? 17-16 Miami as we start the fourth quarter. 3rd and 10. Dan Marino from the 25-yard line. Throws and converts as O.J. McDuffie makes the catch. He takes it to the 38 to move the chains.
That was great protection, Boomer. He had a wonderful look at the field.
He really did, and the good thing now for the Miami Dolphins in this fourth quarter, they have the wind to their back. And it is a significant win when you look at the top of the stadium. But right here, look at this protection. They're only rushing 3 guys. You know, and he knows that, so he knows that he could take a little extra time and give McDuffie a chance to get open.
Change up front, offensive line. Mark Dixon out of the game. He started, and John Bach is in at left guard, number 60, 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Marino throws and a little behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who drops it.
You know, the interesting thing about the Miami Dolphins situation, the way they use their roster, they only have 6 offensive linemen active for this particular game, and John Bach's in there right now. But conversely, on the other side, they like to use 8 defensive linemen, and they like to roll them in and out to keep them fresh.
Second down and 10 at the 38-yard line. Marino throws. That's McDuffie. They were playing loose on McDuffie and then closed on him, and he makes the catch up at the 46-yard line, a little short of the first down.
You know, O.J. McDuffie's one of those players that plays bigger than he is. He's only 5'10", he's about 200 pounds, but he's not afraid to go up and get the football. He's not the speediest guy on the field, but he will go up and make a play like this in front of a defensive back.
Ball gave him a lot of room, and he exploited it.
He has really started to play well the last few weeks and has really become very comfortable with Dan Marino.
3rd down and 1. Through the middle, nothing there. Big play by Henry Thomas taking down Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
What is going on in there, Dan?
Oh, I'm not a big fan of that slow handoff to a running back on a short yardage play. You know, the Patriots, a lot like the Dolphins, in the fact that they have wonderful team speed. And this is just a slow developing running play.
And this is Henry Thomas coming on the backside. And Henry Thomas is one of those guys that's playing with a bad ankle and stayed with the play. And Avery actually broke right back into him.
Henry Thomas doesn't practice at all during the week, but the guy plays.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer to kick. High floating kick. They've got Willie Clay back to receive it, but he lets it bounce, and it stays in bounds. And Miami's going to down it inside the 5. Nate Jacquet downing it there. So Clay let it go, and now New England is pinned deep. Miami up by 1.
On the 10-yard line. He hasn't returned a punt since 1995. You would think that maybe the fact that he hasn't been on the field, he did not want to make a mistake in a crucial part of the game.
Well, they had Brown hurt.
Before the snap, ball start, offense number 68. Half the distance to the goal, it's still 1st down.
They've been using Chris Scanny back there, but Carroll opting for Clay. Last time, in fact, Clay returned a punt, he was a Lion.
Max Lane gets called for the false start to the very left-hand part of your screen. He's filling in at right tackle, where Zephros Moss is normally the starter, but he injured a knee and he's missing the game this week. He got hurt last week in their game with Buffalo.
It's 1st and 12 now from the 3, looking for room. Robert Edwards gives them some breathing space out to the 8-yard line. Tackled there by Kenny Mixon.
We were talking about Robert Edwards, and you know his production has tailed off significantly over the last 4 weeks, but You know, this is, you remember, it's a rookie, and the NFL season is a grind. It's 16 weeks of hard work, and you know you're going to have up and down weeks, and these are things that these rookies are not used to. But he's shown some good perseverance tonight, even though he hasn't had a lot of yards.
On 2nd and 7. Bledsoe throws. That's caught. First down. A lot more. Terry Glenn finally forced out of bounds up at the 28-yard line. Broke a would-be tackle by Sam Madison. And for Terry Glenn, that's 7 grabs tonight for 66 yards. That one worth 21.
His speed kills, and you can see here Terry Glenn is making like he's going for a deep play, and Madison overplays it, and Glenn comes back. I think that most coaches would like to see him try to stay in bounds on the sideline instead of stepping just out of bounds like that.
First and 10 up at the 28-yard line. Bledsoe going deep, and it is not caught by Glenn. The ball hung up for a moment. Buckley had been beaten on the play, then Glenn had to slow down, couldn't bring it in.
Oh, Terry Glenn had Terrell Buckley by 3 steps. And again, Drew Bledsoe throwing into the wind, and the higher the ball goes, the more wind it encounters here at Foxborough. And that ball just came to an abrupt halt. And yet still, I thought Terry Glenn had a shot to catch it.
You know, you could see the quickness of Terry Glenn getting on top of Terrell Buckley. It was a great release. Now that ball went right through his arms. He should have had it, but I'll tell you, if Drew was able to throw it out there another 5 yards, it would have been an easy touchdown.
But as it was, it still was a pretty easy catch.
2nd and 10 out of the gun. Throwing to Simmons, breaks 1 tackle and another, and fights forward up to the 37-yard line.
There we are, back again, Boomer, talking about the strength of Tony Simmons. Boy, I love what this guy does after the catch.
Playing big. It's, you know, it's the yards after the catch that the San Francisco 49ers have made famous in the NFL. When you get a guy like this that you can throw the ball to 3-4 yards past the line of scrimmage, and he'll go get you 5 more after breaking 3 tackles. Now that's a sign of a top quality receiver.
He was their 2nd-round draft choice this year from Wisconsin, and just look at that. This guy just doesn't go down easily.
Key 3rd and 2. Bledsoe out of the gun, surveying, pumping, throwing wide open, caught by Carter, the fullback, to the 15-yard line. Tony Carter. They've been splitting the running backs tonight with some frequency, and they sent Carter to the outside that time, and Tony all the way downfield for 49 yards.
Al, they're trying to create matchups, but the key to that play was the pass protection, enabling Drew to sit back there, pump the ball once, and then pull it back and throw it down the sideline. I'm impressed with their running backs and their ability to catch the ball from the wide receiver position.
Well, Boomer, Miami's rushing 4 guys. All 4 of them came to a complete halt on the first pump by Drew Bledsoe. He throws every one of them.
Bledsoe 342 yards tonight. That is tipped up in the air. Incomplete. Darrell Gardner, his 2nd tip tonight. Bledsoe for the 19th time in his 6-year career up and over 300 yards.
Well, he could probably have about 450 yards right now if a couple of his deep balls were thrown a little bit further, but again, it looks to me as if he's much more comfortable in the shotgun back there. He's seeing the ball, he's seeing the field very good, and he does not have a pass rush in his face.
2nd and 10 at the 14. Dolphins by 1, under 10 minutes left in regulation. And Bledsoe keeps it himself, thrusts forward to the 7-yard line.
He launched himself. Think this game is of importance to the Patriots?
Oof. Crowd saluting him with Drew.
Well, after a few of those interceptions, it was boo-boo, but, you know, as a quarterback, you do have to have a short memory, and this is a tough way to play right here. This is a la the play of John Elway in the Super Bowl. You know, you might not be having your greatest game, but you can certainly show your team that you're ready to go tonight.
I like that little half gainer at the end there.
3rd and 3 out of the gun. A lot of time and a wobbly pass that may have been deflected, or
I think he was just throwing that one away.
I think he got hit just as he unloaded the ball.
Bowens
and Gardner, these are two big guys and very disruptive guys in the middle of this Miami defense. Bowens at 315, Gardner at 315.
Well, now New England with an opportunity to take the lead for the first time tonight.
I don't know. It's
Drew got planted.
Oof. Boy, you'll see that every now and then, called for roughing the passer.
25-yard attempt by Adam Vinatieri. Tom Tupa will hold, make it 24 officially, and that is good. And Adam Vinatieri has just kicked his 4th field goal of the game. And it takes the Pats almost 51 minutes, but they finally get the lead. New England 19, Miami 17. The New York Giants on Monday Night Football at the 11-yard line. John Avery returns the Vinatieri kick. To the 43-yard line, and Vinatieri again makes the tackle, and 2 flags come in.
I wonder if did he try to trip him or something? Or was it holding? Tripping. There you go.
Dante Scarnecchia, off and on for 16 years, has been a Patriots assistant.
I think it was tripping against the New England Patriots.
But if it was the trip that caused the tackle,
it's okay.
Darn right it is, because that would have been a touchdown otherwise.
Tripping by the kicking team during the return, number 4, 10-yard penalty. Miami keeps the ball, first down.
Now I go back to their game in October. You can watch number 4 right here. Looks like Brian Leach from the New York Rangers trying to stop somebody there.
Little kung fu fighting here.
Yes. But
and he gets Avery down, and Avery might have been gone. It is hard to fault Adam Vinatieri for that call right there.
Last line of defense that you got to do anything. But going back to their game in October, Avery had a couple returns just like this that put the Miami offense in great field position.
At the 48-yard line, anyway, Vinatieri, despite the penalty, is a guy who may have saved a couple of touchdown bursts tonight at the 48-yard line. Marino throws underneath, caught by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, takes it to the 43, gain of 5. Slade makes the stop. Let's get an update from Leslie.
Al, as you can hear, the crowd is very much supportive of the Patriots. There is some anger and resentment, but most seem to think that Bob Kraft did in good faith try to keep the team here. One fan said to me, "I won't drive 100 miles down to Hartford, but I won't miss sitting in traffic for 2 hours either." Al?
Good point. Sometimes you get stuck on Route 1 here. You get home on Wednesday.
Sometimes that seems like Route -1. Yes. The long haul here.
2nd and 6, and this is caught by Aranda Gadsden, who had that huge first half, 2 touchdowns. First grab of the second half here. Israel makes the tackle.
Now here's a real important play for the Dolphins. This half already 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, and a 4th and 1. They have been unable to convert, so now they're stuck to about a 3rd and 3 here.
And that has been, as you saw Kippy Brown, that has really been a bugaboo for Miami of late. Good running game, but unable to convert on those 3rd and short situations
when they're handing it off. I don't think they'll be handing this one off, though.
3rd and a short 3. Fake. Over the middle. Open at the 25-yard line. McDuffie. And that's a first down, and the flag is down.
That'll be holding on James Brown, the right tackle. Right out in the middle of everything. He had no choice. He was beaten, and he knew Dan Marino was rolling right behind him, and he just pretty nice open field tackle, much better than the one Vinatieri had.
Offense number 76, 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
I never had a problem. I never had a problem with an offensive lineman. You'll see up here, big old tackle James Brown right there is going to be holding. But I never had a problem with my offensive linemen when they were holding. You'll see he'll tackle Henry Thomas, but you know what? If they keep me from getting hit, it's okay.
Well, it was a pretty good spin move by Henry Thomas that got him back to the outside.
And he also knew that Dan Marino was coming to him because of the play fake.
Well, Marino might not yell at him, but I'll guarantee you Jimmy Johnson will.
Yeah, the quarterback won't, but
3rd and 13. They blitz up the middle. It's picked up. It's caught underneath at the 48-yard line by McDuffie. He fights his way to the 40, but he's 2 yards shy of the first down.
Well, an outstanding stand by New England's defense right here. Miami starts this drive in New England territory and basically went nowhere.
And they're going to go for it again. Well, this is why you throw the ball short of the sticks to give your receiver a chance to make a play for you. And OJ does do a good job. It gets him now down into a situation where it's manageable and you can go for it.
Wow. Man, I'm telling you, I'd punt the football here.
I do too.
There's a lot of time left in this game.
4th and 3 from 41. Marino throws, caught, first down. Troy Drayton.
Jimmy is really taking chances tonight, and they're paying off.
This goes back to my theory of saying, you know what, he wants to run it, he wants to play defense, but he also knows that he has number 13 back there and is probably going to make the right decision most of the time for him. That's a luxury that he has as a coach. This is just a tight end fighting off the pressure of a safety.
Well, Pete Carroll is arguing that Troy Drayton was guilty of offensive interference.
Chris Carter in the secondary that time from the 34-yard line. Swinging to the outside is Abdul-Jabbar. Nothing happening.
Getting around the corner on either one of these defensive teams is
it ain't happening.
No, it's not. It's been tried many times, and to quote my fellow analyst, it ain't happening.
Dan Marino, the NFL record in terms of game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime, 44 of them.
And a game-winning drive by definition when you take the lead for the final time.
He had the one bad decision with the interception, but up until this point, he's played a pretty flawless game. He's been on top of his game, and he's been in a rhythm.
2nd and 10 from the 34, under 5 minutes to go. And that's caught over the middle, O.J. McDuffie. And that should be a first down. McDuffie to the 23-yard line, popped by Lawyer Malloy.
You know, the interesting dynamic here now is that if you are a offensive player for the New England Patriots, you got to start thinking about your 2-minute drill. You know, and that's something that we're not looking at right now, but that's something that they'll be thinking about. And you can see Dan Marino's in that rhythm. He's delivering the ball through traffic. He's putting it, you know, a nice touch on it, and it's very accurate. He certainly still has it, Dan.
Yes, I think he does. He might make something of himself if he sticks with it.
Yeah, I think so.
We're 13 counting down. 1st and 10 to the 23-yard line. Dolphins already in field goal range. And this one,
you know,
delay of game penalty here.
He tried to milk the clock and take it down to the last second, and he went beyond the last second.
Delay of the game.
Oh, you know, he's screaming over right now. Get the play in.
First down.
Well, he didn't say it quite like that, but you know, that's something that he wants to plays in quickly. He wants to be able to get to the line of scrimmage and kind of milk the play clock. He doesn't want to have it forced on him.
It's Pat Jones.
That's a costly penalty.
Mate loosening up.
And keep in mind, Mate is a little bit nicked. He's got a bad hip. Some question about whether he was going to be effective tonight.
1st and 15 as Marino on a tight roll throws. Wide open is the fullback Stanley Pritchett. 1st and goal. Spotted at the 4-yard line, tackled by Willie Clay, 24-yard gain.
You know, the interesting thing of that play is where Stanley Pritchett came from and how he got out there. And it comes back down to how much time Marino has in the pocket to be able to deliver the football.
Wow, what's amazing to me is how effective Dan's being here by rolling out.
Look where Pritchett comes from, but the backfield.
Yep. Ski boot and all, there he goes outside. He puts the fake on Chris Sullivan. Boy, this is just vintage Marino.
Down on the ground again. And it is Abdul-Jabbar for the touchdown.
If Miami, and there is a lot of time left in this ball game.
They need to go for 2 here as well.
Yeah, they'd like to go up by 6 points. But if Miami should win this game, we have got to look at the 2 fourth down gambles by Jimmy Johnson. One kept the drive alive right here. The other resulted in a touchdown pass to Gadsden. Bold, bold moves by Jimmy Johnson.
The best run tonight by a Miami Dolphin.
Marino screaming he wants the play call. He has no play call for the two-point conversion. Doesn't want to waste a timeout.
He's only got a 25-second clock, and it hasn't started to move yet.
Well, the referee will give him a chance to get set in the huddle.
There it starts right there.
Now, the great thing about Dan Marino is that you know who's in charge on the football field. And much like John Elway and against Steve Young and Troy Aikman, those guys are in charge of their football teams, and you know that by watching their body language on the field.
I'm not sure this is necessarily what you do with a 4-point lead as Marino throws, but if you're going to make it, well, he didn't make it. Lamar Thomas couldn't pull it in, and if the Patriots score a touchdown and get an extra point, then Miami only ties them with a field goal. But if Miami goes for the extra point and makes it, they could still win the game with a field goal coming back the other way. We'll talk about it more when we come back. Opted to go for 2, but when you think about it, if you kick the extra point and the Pats score, if you're Miami, you can still come back and win the game with a field goal. Now you can only tie the game with a field goal.
No, you're right on, Al. You're absolutely right. If they had it to do over, I'm sure they'd kick it again.
Here's Derek Cullors taking a knee in the end zone, and New England's going to take over at the 20-yard line. But the Pats right now with their season up in the air. 3:16 left in regulation.
Connecticut. Well, he's got a little work left to do here in Foxborough.
Yes, he does.
3 minutes, 16 seconds left in this ball game, and his team down by 4.
You know, this is the situation where you earn your reputation. I mean, this is, you have your best receiver on the field. He's had a good night tonight. And Drew has played very well up to this point. 342 yards passing. Another 80 would be nice.
Over 8 yards per pass. That's a great average from the 20-yard line. They start on the ground, and Edwards can't get on track. It's tripped up in the backfield for a loss of 1. It'll be second down and 11. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Charles Schwab, providing people, technology, and support to help you gain financial control. Miller Lite, an official sponsor of the NFL and the Super Bowl. AT&T, it's all within your reach. And Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride.
Boomer.
I don't know.
What are they doing back in the huddle?
What are they handing it off for?
But if they're going to hand it off, run a play with a little quickness to it.
Second and 11. Drew throws, and that is dropped by Tony Simmons at the 27. Patrick Surtain with the coverage. 3rd and 11.
Well, there's a lot of young talent on some young talent. That's the Patriots' second-round draft choice trying to catch a football against the Miami Dolphins' second-round draft choice. 2 guys that are going to be in this league a long time. Simmons against Surtain. And that's just great timing by Surtain, hacking down with his right arm and knocking the ball loose.
He's been a real find for them. He's given them a real solid cover corner inside in their nickel defense. And here comes the blitz.
3rd and 11. Critical play.
Where's Terry Glenn? Where's Terry Glenn?
And instead it's Simmons. It's the rookie, and a big catch for a first down at the 37-yard line.
Oh, and solid work up front by the Patriots. Boomer called it. Here comes the blitz. Zach Thomas comes, and they are stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Outstanding blocking up front by the Patriots.
Now, the interesting thing here is, as you see, it looks like Ben Coates stays in. Running back stays in. That's good, solid protection. That's exactly the type of thing you want as a quarterback. And it gives you the comfort that you need in the pocket to deliver the ball accurately.
Well, Surtain won the first one. Simmons won the second.
From the 36, here comes the blitz again from the corner. And Wilson forces the quick throw. Jerry Wilson's been doing that all night long.
Well, he's coming free, and really Drew's doing the right thing. Just get rid of the ball and don't take a sack. And when you see number 24 coming off the bottom of your screen here, he knows that he's unblocked and he has to get rid of it. Patterns, because you only have 5 men blocking at that point.
Well, George Hill, the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator, obviously saw something that led him to believe that Jerry Wilson was going to be effective coming off the corner, and he has been. He's been disruptive almost every time he's come in.
2nd and 10. Bledsoe going deep for Glenn, and Glenn was sandwiched, and it's incomplete at the 27-yard line. Buckley and Brian Walker with the coverage. So 3rd and 10 with 2:20, the 2-minute warning, and all 3 timeouts at New England's disposal. Jason Taylor put a lick on Bledsoe at the end.
This is the strategy of the game right here now, where the offensive coordinator for the Patriots are trying to figure out when they're blitzing. The defensive coordinator is really playing games with them, alternating blitz, and you can see Terry Glenn take a wicked shot right here by Walker.
Well, it's critical that the safety get over there and cut off the middle of the field so the receiver can't come back.
Here's the play singing by Ernie Zampese on 3rd and 10. Zach Thomas has Bledsoe, but he gets the pass away. Caught by Coach. Should have the first down.
A terrific play by Drew Bledsoe. Again, the blitz comes. It seems like every other play, the Miami defense is bringing the blitz, and Drew does a nice job of basically holding off Thomas.
Boy, they pulled that ball back about 6 inches or so, or a foot back, to where it's going to be an interesting measurement. The big guy just floats out, makes himself a target. Right there, it looked like Ben Coates was way past the marker, and he just barely got by it with the mark.
And the clock is stopped right now for the measurement. Carroll has all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. They're going to let the clock go down to 2 minutes. And a 1st and 10 upcoming from the 46-yard line in a 4-point game. Marino pacing.
Right there, the referee winds the clock, which will take us to the 2-minute warning.
Look at Drew Bledsoe just pushing off Zach Thomas. That's what you're able to do when you're that big and that strong.
2-minute warning in Foxborough. Miami 23, New England 19. Jimmy Johnson, hopeful of his team going 8-3. Pete Carroll looking to stay alive in the AFC East. 2 minutes to go. Miami by 4. The ball at the 46. All 3 timeouts available for New England as Drew Bledsoe on 1st down guns it over the middle and too high, intended for Henry Ellard, who's in the game for the first time. Brock Marion with the coverage. Ellard, 11 years with the Rams, 4 years with the Redskins, recently signed by New England, sits on the bench for 58 minutes, and now he's in for the last 2.
225 games in the National Football League as a wide receiver, and Ben Coates hobbling off, and that's not the guy you want to see leaving the lineup right now when you need some clutch catches and moving the chains.
And not only that, he is a good pass blocker, and in situations where Miami's blitzing, you know, that's where he has to block. That's where the tight end has to block.
Lovett Purnell in as the tight end now, and that's incomplete. Jefferson got held up, looks for a flag, doesn't get it. We'll see what happens to Coates on the last play as we look at the replay. It's 3rd down and 10.
This is a part of his job and something that he does very well, and he gets rolled up on the back of his legs. Looks like he twisted an ankle a little bit. He's coming back in the game, however.
Shane Burton fell right on the right ankle of Ben Coates.
And there he is.
That's, you know, that you just, more often than not, that's how a guy gets hurt near the line of scrimmage. He's trying to block, got his back to a play, and somebody rolls up his legs from either the back or the side.
Gonna get moving here now. The down clock is down to 5 seconds.
Well, they've converted 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10. Oh, what a wasteful timeout.
Yeah, that didn't work. That you end up burning off precious. That's just a terrible timeout.
And not only that, but if you have to give the ball up on downs here, at least if you had all 3 timeouts available defensively, you could then get the ball back.
I think he's hurt, though. Looks like he's hurt in his hand right now. And I'm wondering if he was trying to buy a little time. And the last 2 balls that he threw were kind of sailors on him. They took off on him.
Looked like he was looking at his right index finger.
Wonder if he hits it in the helmet.
Yeah. Shane Burton.
Did he hit Burton, or did he hit Rucci, his right guard?
Well, that's the reason for the timeout. Clearly, as you saw Zolak loosening up.
Let's take a look at it again.
Looks like he hits Burton's hand. That's exactly what happened.
He does hit Burton's hand.
It's the palm of the hand, and you know those things smart for a little bit. Usually you can kind of shake him out a little bit, and he took a timeout, went over there and threw the ball. It's not something that's that you want to have happen to you. Certainly it's in the back of your mind now.
3rd down and 10 from the 46. Again, they need a 3rd and long conversion. Here comes the blitz again. It is picked up. Bledsoe hit as he throws, but that's incomplete. And Bledsoe goes to the turf once more.
And the ball's high again. It doesn't look like he's able to grip the ball.
And an absolutely brilliant call by the Miami Dolphins defense. When you know your opposing quarterback is a little bit nicked and something's wrong, Boomer, you got to come after.
You see, the thing,
you got to come after.
The thing is that they had to use a timeout on the last series, and they actually could have punted it with 3 timeouts left. I don't know what they're going to do right now.
Well, Bledsoe, they're going to have to take another timeout.
Yeah.
I think he's almost saying, like, look, man, I can't throw the ball.
Yep. It's a killer.
It looks like he's saying he can't throw the ball.
Zolak's got his helmet on, and they're trying to figure out whether Drew can do it or not.
He can catch it. The question is, can he throw it?
Well, if Drew can stay in the game.
So the Patriots season comes down to one play right now.
Right here, because they only have 1 timeout left, so Miami will be able to run the clock out if there's no conversion on this play.
What a bad break for Pete Carroll's team. Drew Bledsoe hurts a finger on such a critical part of this game.
And they've had to use 2 timeouts when the clock was already stopped. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing that hurts you the most right there.
So it's 4th and 10.
That is hardly a confident-looking quarterback walking up to the ball.
Now the question is, here comes the blitz again. You know they're coming.
Jefferson left, Ellard and Glenn wide to the right.
Here they come. They're all coming.
4th and 10. Drew throws, and it's caught, and it's converted by Jefferson for a 1st down.
Again, outstanding blocking at the line of scrimmage. Of course, they pinpointed the blitz. They knew it was coming to the left side of the offensive formation, and the guys in blue stepped up.
Come on, let's go. You got to keep moving here. You got to get it up.
1 timeout remaining. 1st down at the 40-yard line. Field goal does no good. Down by 4. Underneath, incomplete. Trying to dump it off to Derek Cullors. 2nd and 10 with 75 seconds left.
It's one thing to be poised. It's another thing to be nonchalant and losing some time. Again, after that completion to the sideline, they should have been up at the line of scrimmage. They probably lost 4 or 5, maybe even 10 seconds.
Bledsoe with 50 attempts tonight. That last one, the 50th. 383 yards, but right now on the losing end on 2nd and 10. Bledsoe deep over the middle, and that's incomplete. Surrounded by a trio of Dolphins with Sean Jefferson. 3rd and 10 now.
You can see his hand's not right. I mean, it's just not right.
Drew almost looked like he was going to take himself out of the game. He walked halfway over to the New England sideline. He gives the impression he doesn't know whether he wants to stay or whether he wants to leave. That ball just sails away from him.
3rd down and 10. This is to Coates, and that's a gain to the 36, but you've got another 4th down play with the season at stake. It's going to be 4th and 6 at the 36, and this is their final timeout.
He wants timeout. You know, Terry Glenn's looking right at Pete Carroll. I don't know why he's not calling a timeout.
Because they're not going to take a timeout.
Unbelievable. The coach wants a timeout, but they're going for it. On 4th down and 6, Bledsoe throws, and that is on at the 24 by Sean Jefferson.
Now call the timeout. It's an amazing series of plays.
This is one of the most bizarre endings imaginable. There's a wry grin on the face of Carroll.
When's the last time you saw a head coach calling for a timeout from the sideline and his team on the field completely disregards it?
I mean, Terry Glenn was looking right at him.
On this drive, the Pats have completed 2 3rd and longs and 2 4th and longs.
Boy, that's a good job of digging it out by Sean Jefferson.
Didn't we see O.J. McDuffie do that somewhere along the line?
Yeah, and he didn't get credit for it.
Right. Well, give Drew Bledsoe a lot of credit for hanging in there with a bad hand. A couple of these balls have gotten away from him, but somehow he's found the grip to be able to make the plays when they need it. Now, 34 seconds. I mean, sideline, or if you do complete one in the middle of the field, you're going to have to hurry up and get up and down it real quick.
Right, no timeouts left for New England.
You saw Jimmy working the officials. According to Jimmy, every Patriots offensive lineman is holding.
On every play.
Every receiver's pushing off right about now.
You know, I'm not against work in the middle of the field here right now, guys. That's where it's going to be open. And they're going to be blitzing again. They're going to try to put the pressure on.
On first down from the 25, corner blitz, wide open, caught, Jefferson, touchdown.
Boy, and Drew Bledsoe is going bananas. And he should be. What a scene. We talked about statement plays and statement situations, and Drew Bledsoe rose to the occasion tonight in what was a very, very difficult situation and made the plays with an injured hand on top of it.
On that drive, the Pats converted 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10, 4th and 10, 4th and 7, used all their timeouts, and the guy who dropped the pass last week on 4th down that could have put him back in the Buffalo game and may have led to a win is the big hero right now.
Back-to-back monster catches by Sean Jefferson.
So you want to know why they don't play prevent defense, or they do play prevent defense and don't blitz? That's the reason why. If you blitz, you take a chance. You're going to leave somebody open.
Vinatieri for the point after, 26-23 New England.
How many times have you heard people say, why do they play the prevent? Why do they play the prevent? Well, when you blitz, you're going to leave somebody open. And if you have a quarterback that has the guts to stand in there in the face of the blitz and has the arm to get it there, that's exactly what happens.
Brian Walker was the Miami Dolphin player coming over. It looked like somebody from Miami fell down. Yes, somebody who originally had the coverage on Sean Jefferson goes to the ground, back up about the 15. That's number 31, Brock Marion. It looked like he was the guy that was originally locked up with Jefferson, and he lost his footing back around the 15-yard line.
Sometimes broken plays and things like that happen, and you know, if you're on the other end of it, if you are the Miami Dolphins, boy, that's got to hurt. That has got to hurt. And conversely, on the other side, look at this guy. The feeling doesn't get any better than that, guys.
So 4 long conversions, and then at one point it looks like Bledsoe wants to take himself out of the game. At another point, Carroll's trying to call a timeout and they don't see him. And the next thing you know, they have the lead.
Now the other thing is it's not over. Miami has 2 timeouts
Well,
left.
now you go back to when Miami goes for 2 instead of 1. Had they gone for 1 and made it, a field goal would win the game now.
Right.
Now a field goal ties the game. Here's Vinatieri's kick. It is a bouncer falling down. It's rolling to the 1-yard line. It is picked up there by Marion, and he's dumped at the 3.
Brock Marion with a couple of back-to-back plays I think he'd like to forget.
All it takes is a couple pass interference calls, and you're right at half-field, midfield.
All it takes a couple pass interference calls, a couple 30-yard completions.
4th 400-yard passing game for Bledsoe. He's at 423.
And 3 of those 4 have been against the Dolphins.
Now Marino at the 26-yard line. Miami has 2 timeouts. Dan going deep, and somehow in the middle of it, is it caught? No. Aranda Gadsden, for the moment when he went up, looked like he'd come down with it and couldn't hold on.
He had the ball.
Oh, you don't get many opportunities airmailed to you like that. Gadsden is in the middle of everybody, and that ball is all his.
Looks like, I can't tell, looks like
Maybe we'll get a 21 from the left. Yep, you're exactly right.
number 21, Steve Israel, looks like he gets his hand in there. But all that is a Hail Mary to the middle of the field. We'll probably see the same thing again. The Patriots are all over the field in the secondary right now.
Downfield again. Into traffic.
Oh, it's caught.
Who's got it? Caught by the Dolphins, and they take timeout at the 50-yard line with 5 seconds. Ed Perry, a backup tight end.
Who is that?
Ed Perry, who doesn't get a single call tonight, who's barely in the game tonight. 46-yard game. Time for one more pass. Wow. So Marino with one last heave from the 50-yard line now. What a game. Marino 276 yards tonight. Bledsoe 423.
This is just a Hail Mary into the middle of the field where everybody goes in there, and you could see number 25, Larry Wiggum, looks like he has the ball. And that's really what you're trying to get done in there. Just throw the ball up and see what happens.
Talk about a team right now that could desperately use another 5 seconds. It would be Miami. If they had 10 seconds, they could get a completion here into field goal range and call a timeout. This is the last play, barring a penalty.
Pats have 4 defensive backs inside the 20-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 50.
They're playing the ultimate 3-man.
One last gasp, and they go over the middle. They're going to try to call timeout, but it's too late. Perry makes the catch.
I think he's going to. I think he might give him one.
They tried to call timeout.
Well, the officials aren't leaving yet.
Game's over.
Ed Hockley will give us the call.
Time expired on the clock. The game is over.
What a smart call by Miami to try to pull that off.
Well, this will give Jimmy one last thing to yell about.